Yeah, that'll work. Hello. I'm live right now, right? YouTube was being weird. I hope I'm here. Am I live or am I just imagining it? I didn't want to, like, it kept dropping out. Hmm. I hope this is working. Okay, cool. I was like, no, I didn't even want to play the intro. I was freaking out. Anyway, so yeah, welcome to another Hangout stream. Um, I have adjusted the lighting so we can see the items that I have. First up is this cool ass. Oh yeah, we do just do things here. You know, we watch stuff, we talk about things, and hang out. We just hang out on these streams. Um, so yeah. This is, I believe, it's the Two-Face cup from the Batman, Forever McDonald's cups. Two-Face on that side, and we have like Gotham City on this side with like the Riddler question mark, the coin right there. I don't think I have the full set. I don't think I have the Riddler for these, but yeah. Then I have, is this the Batman one? Yes, of course. Batman one. Batman. Hell yeah, man, right? Batman. Look at that. He looks so cool. Ugh. Made glass. Then Gotham City and the Riddler question mark again. Here, let me get my hand out of the way. There we go. Actually, can you see it? But no. The Riddler question mark. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I had the Batman Returns cups too. And the one I showed the other day is Robin. I think it's Robin. Robin. Yes. Young Master Grayson. And then there's, God, you can't even really see it. That's the Batmobile right there. You kind of can. And then another question mark, and yeah. And then I have no idea. I have no idea like how much this is worth or anything, but I've had this thing for like since I was a fetus, basically. I thought it was a bank, but it's just I guess a ceramic statue of E.T. I don't know like where it comes from or anything. There's no date on here. Yeah, I know. There's no like date on him or anything. There might be one inside, but I'm really not sure. Because his feet are like open in the bottom. Let me see. I have a flashlight. See if I can see in there. No. So this might have been made by someone. Oh yeah. So this might have been made by someone. And my mom just bought it for me. I don't know. So this right here is, again, I've had this thing forever. I was actually going to buy a new one. And then when we were cleaning, we found it. And its eye needs to be cleaned off. It's a stuck on you on the back. I'll show you that in a minute. It's a Garfield, like, window cleaner. See, it says stuck on you right there. Ah, camera. You're too bright. Right there. There we go. I love this thing. I've had this thing forever, too. Here, let's see. This one actually has 1981 on this. So this was made the year before I was born. And then this little personal thing. Oh no, we'll do this first. I have no idea who this person is. I remember getting this autograph and I have no idea. I had no idea who the person was at the time. But it says to Steve Terry Mills, number 6, best wishes. He was on the Pistons. He was a basketball player. He's the dude right there. Don't ask me to tell you anything about him because I did not watch basketball back then. I still don't. I really don't know who he is. But I guess it's cool to have that I have this, you know. All right, so something a little personal here. I have one of these too. I have a green one, a green Capricorn one, and when we were cleaning, we found my dad's. This is his Aquarius cup. So I now have both mine and my dad's in my room. So that's really cool. Like I'm really happy to have this. I have my Capricorn and his Aquarius. Right? Like I don't even know if he still plays, dude. Yeah. I don't even know if he's still alive. Terry Mills. Whatever. Okay. Is that it for that stuff? Yeah. Should I do that stuff or that first? Hmm. I'll do that stuff first. Hold on. Let me grab it. Oh, bag. We'll start with whatever this is. Grolier President's Edition. Alice from Alice in Wonderland. It's like a box. I don't know what's in it. Let's see. It's got like foam in it. Oh wow, it's a Christmas ornament. Holy shit. I kind of don't want to take it out. But yeah. Little Alice in Wonderland ornament. That's cool. I really need to look this stuff up. Find out more about it. Okay. Well, let's check this shit out. Oh, dude. I found these. This one's kind of half open. It's Collectible Figures Series number 2. Power Rangers. Lord Zed. Uh, it's got like a seal thing right there. Yeah, yeah. And then this one, I was like, oh shit, that might be worth some money. These were $2 from Family Dollar, by the way. Back in whatever year these were bought. Um, White Ranger. I know. White Ranger figure. So I definitely need to look these up. He's not open at all. He is completely sealed. So and then a bunch of these. I don't really want to show these individually, but I have a bunch of these Marvel uh superheroes. I think these were Burger King Happy Meal toys. Hold on, let's see. It doesn't say. I love Power Rangers, man. I still do too. I think it's a really cool show. What is this? Oh, some sort of swan from the Littlest Pet Shop. I don't know. This is like I'm trying to find the Invisible Woman who apparently changes color. She looks weird in the package though. But all of these are sealed, and I don't know where they came from. Where's my favorite one? Hold on. What is this? A Pokemon? What is this thing? It's a Hoot Hoot? I don't know. Oh, this Pokemon. This Pokemon right there. I know nothing about Pokemon. I've never been into Pokemon. So, it's a Pokemon, though. That thing in there, that's a Pokemon. Oh, there he is. This is a 2-pack. It's Wolverine and the Blob. And the light sucks. And plus the packaging. I don't want to take them out, though. There's a bunch of those in here. Hi, baby. Hi, Darby. In here. Yeah, I definitely need to look some of this stuff up. Man, Lord Zed's pretty much open. I should just take them out of the package. Okay. Oh, that's cool, man. I never got into it. Nothing against it, you know. So got some really cool stuff here. Um, I have my dust rag here too. This is oh boy. You ready to geek out with me? This is Double X Handle the Giant from World Championship Wrestling Action Figures. And check this out. If you push the button on his back, it's like, let me out. Help, help, let me out. What year is he from? 1998. This thing is from 1998. That's a really good likeness for a figure from 1998, too. If you look at the picture, and then you look at his face, it's actually a decent likeness. What's this? Oh, yeah. Why is this in here? Why the hell is this in here? Audi Avis Premier Collection. Oh, yeah, there's a freaking Tropicana. Or is that in here, too? This car. I don't know anything about cars either, so I don't know why. 1 of 25,000. Oh, wow. Maybe I should look this up, too. Is it numbered? Doesn't look like it's numbered, though. Okay, what's next? Oh. Here we go. This is the Jakks Pacific Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Stone Cold University shirt. Why can't I hold that straight? There we go. And they came with those WrestleMania 14 stands. Shawn Michaels. You know, this one too, I was like, huh. Wonder if this one's worth money. Because as far as I know, this was the only WWE figure that they made of him. I might be wrong, but I have to really look into it. But this was a big deal when it came out because this was the only way you could get him. And I think they knew that because they didn't put a lot of crap on him. But Brian Pillman from the Stomp line. He's got like military accessories. These were so weird. I remember a lot of them just came with like minimal accessories, so you could just use them as wrestlers. Then I found out there was another series that was like underwater or something. Oh yeah. Man, a lot of dead people in this box. Alright. The official WWF Bendems. Razor Ramon. How much was this guy? $2.99. $2.99 at KB Toys. And they came with these cool trading cards on the back. I remember that. That you could take off. They're like perforated. Oh, there we go. It's my favorite. Oh yeah, his trading card's badass too. This from a different series? I think he is. Huh. This is Undertaker. Undertaker Bendham. Yeah. Pretty sweet. He was also $2.99. It's got a it's got a phone number to call to subscribe to WWE Magazine. That's awesome. There's his trading card on the back, which is very cool. Yeah. Who's next? Oh, Jesus. Another dead person. God. Just wipe them off here. God, these things are dusty. Dusty. No, not that dusty. Bad. Gross. Me too, man. No, it's all like, go on the internet, you idiot. Superstars, what series is this? I think this is series 1. No, this is series 2 because it had the glow-in-the-dark Undertaker figure. Beta! It's beta time! See? Right there. It's Vader time. With bone crunching sound. It just means you click when they click when you move their joints. And they had like, I'm pretty sure this is series 2 because of the glow in the dark Undertaker. I had all of these. It's like, who will survive? Oh. Oh, look, someone who is not dead. Wow. Yeah. I liked him a lot. Oh, he's remarkably not that dusty. But is this okay, this says series 2 on it. How about Vader? What's he say? Where'd you go, Vader? Uh-oh. He ran away. There he is. Series 2. Okay, yeah, these are series 2. It says Rick the Hitman Hart. Camera's over there. There we go. I am the best there is. Yeah, it says series 2 right there. And there. I wonder how much these were. We got them at Meyer. Did we get Vader at Meyer too? Let's see. Vader, oh. He doesn't have a price tag. Okay. And I remember these. Oh my god, so big. This was apparently $9.99 and very dusty packaging. There we go. Holy shit. Do you know what it is yet? Probably not. Oh, God. Yeah, damn. The front is kind of messed up. Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool. No, I didn't know that. And this is the Ripped and Ruthless one in your house. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ooh, look at the Toys R Us price tag. Oh. And then I actually used to have this one. You can probably guess who it is. Out of the package when I was young. Because who else would I have out of the package? Goddamn dust, man. And it is, of course, my favorite, The Undertaker. Honestly, if these things... Oh, really? Wow, I used to go all the time. If these things aren't worth that much, I might open this. But yeah, this is such a cool statue, man. The camera's not even over there. What am I doing? Such a cool statue. Well, you can see Michael Myers' face. Ah, here we go. Wait. There we go. Is it The Undertaker? Or is it Michael Myers? He actually talked about him being inspired by Michael Myers. A lot of the stuff he did in the ring was inspired by Michael Myers, and I was like, that's so awesome. Let me see if I can get this shit back in here. It's the problem. Not taking it out, it's putting it back. Come on, cooperate with me. With the gray gloves and everything. It's the first print one, too, where his hair is darker. Oh, wait, that can go there. Yeah, like that. There we go. Yeah. Come on, cooperate. You know, they call him the bad guy for a reason. Is it? No, I'm not cooperating. Okay. There we go. I think that's good. That's my keyboard. Don't worry about it. My other keyboard that I'll be using in a few minutes. Collectibles. Collectibles are fun. So yeah. Found all that stuff while we were cleaning. And I was like, oh shit, I have to show this stuff on stream. Awesome. So give me a few minutes and I'm going to go and sort of move this shit out of the way and wash my hands. And I will be right back. Alrighty, well, while I'm at it, showing wrestling stuff, I figured I'd show these two. I have they're a little bit worse for wear, but I still have them. The Stone Cold Steve Austin. And of course, who else? Oh, The Undertaker. TV guides. And you know what's funny? Both of these have this on the back. Back when they used to put cigarette ads on things. Thank you. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, can't do that shit anymore. All right. Mm-hmm. I know. Bring on the stupid. It's coming, trust me. All right. Oh, I don't even have the brow. Why is that cut off on the sides? Hold on. Why is it black like that? Jesus Christ, my stream is like way behind. Why is that? Oh, there we go. I had to skip forward a little bit. I was behind on my own stream. Still trying to figure out why this is like this. Mm-hmm. The TV Guide channel. Yep. That was the shit, man. Why is that not filling the screen? Is it? Hold on. It might be the actual TV. No, that does not matter. Okay. That's weird. There shouldn't be any black. Uh, no, stop. All right. Let's see. No, this. That's not helping. No. Alignment. Center. Top left. Oh, look at that. It can jump around. That's fun. Center and then bring it down. No? Okay, cool. Well, that's fine. Maybe if I do this. Ah, wait. But that just stretches it. Do I have to do this? I don't even know if this is going to work. Shit. Hold on. Get... Ah, stupid mouse. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Well, then. Well, I don't know why it's like that. Hmm. Hold on. No, I don't want to... No, I want to make it larger, not smaller. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Hmm. Yeah, this is what I'll do. Mm-hmm. Wait. This. Right here. Copy. This. Okay. Huh. That's weird. It's like it actually black behind there. Like it's coming from the source. That's weird. I can't even put like a background behind it or anything. Shouldn't be doing that. Well, I can see the background there, but there's also more black. What the hell? I can do that. Let's see. Center. Stop. Stretch. Oh. That almost works. Okay, that's good. All right. Oh, let's bring on the stupid. Uh. Oh yeah, I heard about that too. The Roger Jackson thing. Ugh. Why? What am I gonna playlist? Playlist. Can I just go there? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, here we go. This is the Trumpet of Heaven incident explained. Oh, raw. Oh, we didn't watch it till later. Hello? Oh, great. Cool, there's no audio. That's fun. That's fun when that happens. Hmm. Oh, wait. Hold on. That's the wrong, no, that's audio's on. Okay, well, hold on. This is going great. I'm a technical master. Let me see. What could be wrong? Okay, that's working. Yeah, it's supposed to be that. Okay, hold on. I think that's. I'll be right back. Okay, I think it should work now. Shut up. Stupid thing telling me bullshit.
Can only really walk
There we
around a
go.
small area containing a couple paid. Their dad had bought a CD containing engineering software at a convention a few years
What just happened? Okay.
prior, but inside the case, there was a second unmarked disc. On it was a bizarre short video game. You're dropped into a crudely designed world where you can only really walk around a small area containing a couple buildings until some gray faces descend from the sky and begin following you. When they catch you, the game abruptly ends. If this sounds familiar, that's probably because I talked about in my video about Russian internet mysteries. But today, I want to investigate an aspect of this game that leads down a completely different rabbit hole.
Interesting.
The soundtrack. Pay close attention to the following audio.
Okay.
This is the only audio that appears in the game. It sounds like a giant mechanical drone, not unlike something you might hear in a science fiction movie. But while it may resemble the protesting groans of some colossus alien machinery, the source of the noise is not only very much terrestrial, but it was something that many people from all over the world heard around the same period of time in 2011, and was thus captured from many different viewpoints in many different videos. But the particular recording that made it into this strange video game happened to come from this video, which is titled Strange.
Hold on, I think I can turn this up more now.
Sound in Kiev.
There.
The clip mostly consists of a black screen because the cameraman forgot to take the lens cap off for most of the video, but that's not really important. The thing that matters here is the audio.
Hey, cool.
Among the normal outdoor sounds of birds and wind, we can hear some huge resonating groan. The sound is massive, and judging by how it reverberates, it appears to be bouncing off of every building we can see in the distance. The user that uploaded this clip noted in the description that the sound was so intense it was shaking the windows in their building. This video would fly under the radar, but a week later, the same user would upload a second, much longer recording of the sound that would immediately go viral. This one would get 500,000 views in just 1 week, and it currently has almost 5 million views.
Wow.
Commenters would speculate on just what could be producing such a massive sound, and everything from the impending 2012 apocalypse to the Nibiru cataclysm would be discussed. Many people had a theory that this sound was an angel sounding one of the 7 trumpets that would signal the end of days foretold in the Book of Revelations. As I'm sure you can tell, this video did extremely well in the conspiracy niche of YouTube. While the conspiracy community nowadays has mostly moved to Rumble and usually only discusses boring QAnon deep state nonsense, the conspiracy community of old YouTube was much more esoteric. I just mentioned the Nibiru cataclysm, which was the idea that Earth would collide with planet X.
I thought that was just a streaming service.
To the Anunnaki, an alien civilization that built all the different pyramids on Earth. This collision between planets would ultimately destroy us, and the Mayan calendar supposedly foresaw this event happening in 2012. If you were to search for the Nibiru cataclysm nowadays on YouTube, you would mostly find videos made by YouTubers, well, much like myself. But these creators obviously aren't taking this theory seriously.
I know they have their own streaming software, and anybody can use it.
A wacky conspiracy theory. But back in the day, the only people really talking about this stuff on YouTube were the people who actually believed in it.
That font.
Much more homegrown,
you tell me.
Frankly, unhinged genre. You can still see these videos today if you search for Nibiru on YouTube and include a before search parameter to only get results from before a certain date. This was the community that this Ukrainian video was thrust into. And you know what happened after it blew up? People began hearing the same enormous sound in many other places around the world. Just 8 days later, a new video by a different channel would blow up. This one was titled, "The Earth is Groaning," and it compiles many clips from different locations around the world.
Ate too much food.
Like in Lviv, Ukraine.
Yes, I do. I do remember VidMe. Yeah.
Another recording comes from Port
The service that
Colborne here
YouTube
in
completely
Canada.
killed. uh,
This video would get more than 1 million views. And what's more is that
Yeah.
many people in the comment section seem to have heard this sound as well. So, what exactly is going on here? Because it is well past 2012 and we're all still here. Let's see if we can figure it out. I tried to find the original uploads for as many recordings of these strange sounds as I could. I started with the video taken in Lviv, which was originally titled Strange Sounds in Lviv, August 17th, 2011. This original upload is in much higher quality, and well, I'll just show you.
okay. All right. Looks like a thunderstorm to me. Oh God, I remember that too.
In the distance, you can just make out a giant mechanical creature
Shit
poking out
shoot.
of the fog. This video is an original piece of internet horror that was merely inspired
Oh, that's
by
cool.
the original Key video.
I love
obviously
it.
fake, but also really well put together. A few weeks ago, I was in Europe visiting family and I had a bit of a problem. You see, I was eagerly awaiting my chance to get a pre-order for Switch 2 as soon as it went
God
live.
damn it.
But when the time came, all the Canadian stores that launched their pre-orders immediately began to geo-restrict their traffic, meaning I couldn't visit Best Buy or EB Games' website while I was outside of Canada. Normally,
No, I'm not sitting through your ad read. I'm not going to use or buy or whatever this is.
One subscription
Buy or...
private internet access by
Yeah, not doing that, thank you.
Video has been terminated, but I did find a re-upload, which is titled UFO Very Strange Phenomenon. The quality is much higher here, but unfortunately, I don't really have any answers to this one. I tried to see if the drone audio came from either of the Key videos, but it doesn't appear to. The only idea I have here is that if you speed up the audio by 4 times, it kind of sounds like an elephant.
Kind of sounds like an elephant.
I'll admit that's a pretty shaky conclusion, and I don't really have a definitive answer for this one.
No.
Every other video I could find with these sounds, though, all of them appear to be fake. Like this one from Sweden, which just has some very slowed down audio of someone yelling.
Oh, yeah.
This one from Norway, whose creator actually later went and made a tutorial of how he faked the video. I'm guessing that after this Key video blew up, other people want to grab some attention by faking their own versions of it. But that still begs the question, just what was happening in the original video? Somebody would make a thread on Reddit about the phenomenon, and they'd include links to many of these
He was like,
videos.
someone took fart sounds and made it sound like a monster.
But it's a comment further down written by a seismic analyst that I want to focus on. They say that it's very unlikely that this sound was organic. He thinks that it's most likely a man-made sound being warped by its environment.
No.
A commenter on a different thread would point out that a new underground station was being
that's
built
cool.
in Kyiv at the time, and they were apparently using a tunnel boring machine, which is a massive and powerful machine that can carve large tunnels through solid rock. If we listen to the sounds in Kyiv carefully, it does sound pretty industrial.
It's Kiev, bro.
If we speed it up to make the sounds feel
It's Kiev,
smaller,
it's not
it
Kyiv.
almost sounds like metal rubbing on metal. Could all of this have just stemmed
Oh, like
from
Anvil,
underground
that
construction
band.
project? The thing is, there's not any actual conclusion
Metal
to
on
this mystery.
metal,
Nobody was
doobly-dee.
ever
I don't know
able
the
to
words.
find a definitive source for the sound, and we still can't rule out that this original video was a fake as well.
It was
If there
Cthulhu.
really was such a large sound happening for days on end, you would probably find some news articles about it and probably more recordings, right? but anything I can find about this online.
That's why we don't
seems to
remember.
only link back to these two.
He wiped all of our
videos.
memories.
And
It's
I did try
Cthulhu.
searching in English, Russian, and Ukrainian. Regardless of what the story was behind this video, it did manage to.
He rose and we don't remember it.
A mini genre on YouTube where people record seemingly massive unidentified sounds, either asking for help or telling everyone that it's a signal for the end of days. Videos like this still pop up every now and then, although it's not nearly as in vogue nowadays as it was in 2011. But what do you guys think? Do you have any alternative theories as to where these sounds might have come from? If you do, please let me know down in the comments.
I think
Now, some of you might recognize this video.
it's whale
That's because
farts.
this was the first patron-only video that we did when we launched a Patreon a few months ago. There's a couple of reasons I'm putting it up on YouTube now.
What are we doing now?
One, I don't really believe in permanently paywalling.
That's cool.
But I was planning to take a bit of a break in December.
Yeah.
YouTubers in person is like the best. I got to meet a lot of YouTubers who make similar videos. Yeah, I have internet access for
Bro, I'm not subscribing to your Patreon. Sorry. I will give you a like, though. Oh god, Leprechaun's Revenge. This is a short film, a new short film based on Leprechaun. What else do I have on here? Oh yeah, the Cursed Boots. Don't I have that new Friday the 13th? I thought I had the new Friday the 13th short film on here. God damn it, I want to watch that. Let's check out the Leprechaun short film. Let's see if it's any good. If it's not, I'm sorry. Like that one Silent Hill short film. That one Silent Hill short film that we tried to watch with, that was poop from a butt. Fan film, sorry. Fan film. That's what I meant to say. It was. It was literal shit from an ass. Leprechaun Revenge. I want me gold. But first let me shine your shoe. They got rid of that in the later sequels, and I was kind of pissed. Where you like to shine shoes.
Hello?
It's me.
Who's there? Who is it?
Is that Ozzy?
Allison, is that you?
Yeah. I'm in town doing some research. We're collecting artifacts down at the old mine. How could I not stop by my favorite uncle's house?
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. It's really you. Come here. Come in. Come in.
Is that actually him? What is happening? How do they get these people to be in these things?
It's me you want, little creature.
That's actually him. Wow. That's really cool.
The leprechaun is at hand.
That's very cool.
I've got the last gold coin. I swallowed it. It's in my stomach. Stomach.
Yes, sweetheart.
Can you come here? I need your help with something in the basement.
Coming.
Uh-oh. Forgot your stuff.
Hello? Allison?
Yeah, it's the leprechaun, isn't it? God damn it.
Where are you?
Whoa. Clovers? Is that what that is?
I'm right here, Uncle Oz.
What are you doing down here?
That's the leprechaun.
Just curious about your little hobby. I mean, it all seems a bit excessive. Don't you think?
Maybe,
No.
maybe not. I don't know.
Not at all.
She's acting weird.
You sure it's gonna work?
Yep.
Allison?
Is he gonna die in this one too? He died in Leprechaun Returns.
Allison? Where did you go?
Ah, shit.
No!
Long time no see, Tubby.
Might I say, you're looking good these days.
It can't be. We killed you. We trapped you in a well.
Well, I'm back. How about a song to celebrate me, lad?
Uh-oh.
Those shoes? 'Tis a sin after all these years. And still filthy. Have you no shame?
Oh, cool.
Shiny, shiny.
Oh, you little
He wants to shine your shoes. I like that they brought that back. I appreciate that. Uh-oh.
Ironic. I've always wanted to see eye to eye with you, Mule.
Ow. Jesus. Oof. Uh-oh. Ooh! Oh!
Where you going, Tubby? I want me gold.
You really think it's still in his stomach? Probably shit it out like 20 years ago.
I made this just for you. It's magically delicious.
Uh-oh.
There once was a hole so tight, whose grip lost all its might. It fell to the floor without any war. Now who's gonna put up a fight?
Uh-oh.
Now let's finish what we started.
No.
Hey. It's the gold. Oh, shit.
I want me last coin!
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Wow, dude, how many times is this guy gonna get killed by the leprechaun? This will be 2 now.
Look at charms.
Wow.
I want me shilling! You've never been one to be too far ahead in life.
What did he say? Holy shit.
Down the hatch.
Oh no. Oh my god.
We united at last. We gold.
Well, there you go. You got it now.
Golden, delicious gold.
That's it. Aww. That was really good.
May 8th, 2025, a Reddit user...
I wasn't expecting to be for it to be legitimately good. Damn. Hold on. Gotta give that a like. Jeez. Alright. What is this? Our most disturbing
On May
Reddit
8th,
confession posts.
2025, a Reddit user asked a grim yet straightforward question on r/askreddit, stating...
This is from
What
my dude Chilling Scares, I believe. One of the only, one of these YouTubers that I actually like. Yep. He's really good. I like him.
is the most messed up thing you have ever done? Initially, replies to this were filled with either obvious jokes or relatively tame confessions involving relationship drama. However, after about 30 minutes of the post being live, one user replied with a disturbing comment that stood out from the rest.
Oh, Jesus.
It read, I ran over a woman and her child in California in '96. I don't remember the specific city, but I'll never forget it was the intersection between Vanowin Street and Louis Avenue.
Oh my God.
Mom died, but I don't remember what happened to the kid. I got away scot-free, and I'm only telling this because the statute of limitations already passed. Now, it's not uncommon for people to just
There's a statute of limitations on that?
Attention. And at first this didn't look any different until another user did some digging and discovered an LA Times article from July of 1996.
Oh my God.
What seemed like the same incident mentioned in the comment. That article, along with others from the time, not only confirmed the OP's claims, but also revealed the horrifying details of what actually happened that day. According to the reports, the victims of this incident were a 19-year-old girl named Ruby Moreno and her 1-year-old daughter. Ruby had taken her daughter to a nearby hospital on the morning of July 29 to treat a few minor cuts she got while playing. She stopped at a relative's house on Vanowin Street on her way back and was about to return home at around 10 p.m. But as she was attempting to get into her car on the driver's side, she heard a loud screeching noise from behind. She looked back and saw a car barreling towards her at 100 miles per hour.
Oh no.
According to other witnesses, this car had swerved to avoid hitting a van just seconds earlier, causing it to lose control. Seeing this, Ruby panicked and started running from the speeding car with her daughter still in her arms.
Oof.
Unfortunately, luck wasn't on her side that day. Before she could reach the sidewalk, she tripped into the street and was struck by the car moments later. The impact sent her flying over a parked car and onto the roof of another.
Oh my God.
The baby was also tossed several feet into the air before falling on the asphalt. Miraculously, the baby didn't receive any lethal injuries and was able to survive without any lasting damage to her body.
That's awesome.
Ruby, however, wasn't as fortunate. She was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to her injuries the same night.
That's not
As for
awesome.
the driver that hit her, witnesses reported him trying to flee the scene, hitting another parked car and then a curb before successfully getting away. And from everything I could find, the perpetrator was never identified or arrested.
Oh my God.
So if this Reddit user was telling the truth, there's a real chance he was the driver behind the brutal hit and run nearly 3 decades ago.
Wow.
A report from 1996 also mentioned that the driver was likely intoxicated due to the way he behaved after hitting Ruby. And when asked, the user admitted that this was the case. Were you drunk at the time, as the article says, or were they wrong about that? Inebriated, sure. More high than drunk. I was on a lot of junk back there.
Wow.
But the most disturbing part of his confession was just how cold and remorseless he seemed about the entire incident. Why no sympathy? Was this on purpose? No, but it's been so long. It's like a whisper of a memory.
Yeah, right.
Do you think about how that child has to live without a mother now? Genuinely asking, you seem stone cold. It's been 30 years. That child probably has children of its own. I seem stone cold because I've already been through all the stages of emotions. I've justified myself, I rotted with guilt, I've had sleepless nights. I'm an old man now and I'm waiting to die any moment. I can't change what I did. I can't even pay for my crime anymore because California doesn't send people to prison only on a confession, and regardless, my health alone would render me incompetent to stand trial. There's nothing tying me back to that day but my word. Which brings us to the big question, was the OP actually telling the truth? Unfortunately, the answer to this is a bit more complicated than it initially seems. For starters, the story does match an actual incident that happened back in 1996, right down to the exact intersection he mentioned in his confession. He also added several details that didn't seem made up, and even gave a reason for why he was finally willing to confess now, because the statute of limitations had long expired. That said, there also seems to be some potential inconsistencies. Some reports claim the driver was with another passenger, and that they actually fled on foot. However, the OP not only didn't mention any passenger, but also claimed that he still had the car. He even cited its damaged condition as the reason he became aware of the accident, writing, "What was your reaction to what happened? I was too hopped up on various types of drugs to notice. It was only the day after when I saw the dried blood on my bumper." This could point to the possibility that the OP wasn't behind Ruby's accident at all. He maybe stumbled upon the 1996 article online, memorized key details like the year and the street name to make it seem real, and then fabricated the rest of the story as users pressed him with more questions, all just to get some attention on the internet. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Although if he was telling the truth, several users have already alerted California authorities of his comments. In May of 2012, a Reddit user asked others to share a secret which, if came out, could ruin their lives. And while this post received over 44,000 comments in total, one chilling confession stood out above the rest. About 9 hours after the original post went up, a user replied with a haunting story of his own, reading, "I accidentally killed 7 people.
What?
I put a rag into a new water heater exhaust to keep debris out and installed it in a rental. I get a call a week later. There's been an accident. I show up and there's a ton of EMS and police. They ask me where the gas shutoff is, and I go down to shut the gas off and see the end of the rag I forgot sticking out of the top of the heater. Rip the rag out, shut the gas off, and headed upstairs, only to be told all the tenants were dead. I drink all day now and sleep. It's killing me from the inside every single day, but if I say anything, my family is ruined. We have a bunch of rental properties and we'd be shut down." This reply caught the attention of thousands of other users who wanted more details on what exactly happened. Unfortunately for them, the account that posted this was a throwaway, and the OP didn't post a single comment after that, possibly to avoid incriminating himself any further. But when users didn't get the answers they were looking for from the OP, they began looking outward, and it didn't take long for someone to track down the news article talking about the tragic accident. According to these reports, the incident took place on December 16, 2006 in Kirksville, Missouri, where 7 victims, including 5 young adults and 2 children, passed away in their sleep due to carbon monoxide poisoning. However, while this part matched what the OP said in his comment, the conclusion the investigators reached was completely different. In his report, the police chief spearheading the investigation stated that the heating system was functioning properly and was not the source of any problem. Instead, one of the victims' vans was left running in the closed garage. This generated a lot of carbon monoxide throughout the night, which slowly filled up the apartment and eventually ended up taking the residents' life. So, did the OP really get away with killing 7 innocent people because of his gross negligence? Sadly, the answer is not as clear-cut as many would hope. There are multiple possibilities, and any one of them could be true. For instance, if we assume that OP was telling the truth from his perspective, it's completely possible that the accident did have nothing to do with the heating system. But since the OP saw the rag stuck in the heater, he assumed it was his fault and has been blaming himself ever since. On the other hand, there's also a chance that everything unfolded exactly as the investigation concluded. OP just took this real accident and made up the story about him forgetting the rag for attention on Reddit. This would also explain why the police would let him casually walk into a potential crime
People do a lot of
scene
strange things online.
We can even take this a step further and assume that the OP wasn't even the landlord and just read about the incident online. That all said, it's still completely possible this story is legit and that the rag was the cause of the deaths, or perhaps a combination of the van and the rag. The OP hasn't posted any new updates on his throwaway account in the last 13 years. So, whatever the truth is, we may never know for sure.
Jesus. 13 years.
On May 2nd, 2017, users on the Canada News subreddit came across a lengthy post titled, "Wanted for Kitchener Murder, My Side."
What?
This was a reference to a horrific murder that took place in Kitchener, Canada just a few days earlier. And to everyone's shock, this post was written by the prime suspect, Ager Hussein.
Oh.
He was still on the run, but wanted to tell the internet what exactly happened on the night of the incident. However, what seemed like a desperate attempt to share his side of the story would later turn out to be a part of his plan to evade the consequences for his actions.
Oh,
Though
of
the
course.
events that led up to this
Ow.
started 15 months earlier in February of 2016, when
Damn.
21-year-old Ager Hussein met 21-year-old Melinda Vasilier in Kitchener. The two quickly became infatuated with one another and began dating just weeks after their first encounter. However, while things went quite well for the first year or so, the two eventually started
I think I
bickering and
remember
fighting with
this.
each other. This resulted in the two breaking up in April 2017 via text, and that's when things took a turn for the worst. Not long after their breakup, Ager attempted to break into
Why did it go
Melinda's
full
old
screen?
patio, but was spotted by her friend Anna and her boyfriend. They also called the police on him, forcing him to leave Melinda alone. However, he kept texting her even after this incident, asking to meet her at least one last time. She eventually agreed and invited him to her home, hoping to talk
Don't do
things
that.
through and end the relationship on respectful terms. They decided to meet on the night of April 27th, but when the time came, Ager didn't show up. Melinda had asked her friend and sister to stay with her at home while Ager was visiting. However, since Ager was a no-show, she gave them the go-ahead to carry on with their night, and the two left. They returned shortly after midnight, and to their surprise discovered that Ager had shown up while they were gone and was now in Melinda's room with her.
Oh,
The girls
God.
confirmed Melinda's safety before heading off again to get food. This trip took barely 30 minutes, but by the time they came back, things had somehow spiraled into a complete nightmare. The apartment was in complete disarray, and there was no sign of Ager anywhere. And as they stepped further into the apartment, they found Melinda lying face down on the kitchen floor in a pool of blood, with her body covered in dozens of wounds.
Oh,
They rushed
Jesus.
in to check on her, but tragically, it was already too late. Melinda had no pulse. After composing themselves, they contacted the police and told them everything they knew, sparking a nationwide manhunt for Ager. However, despite days of searching, the investigators were unable to find anything about his current whereabouts. That is until a post from Ager himself popped up on Reddit explaining everything that happened from his perspective. He opened his monologue by going over the history of his and Melinda's relationship, how they were perfect together, and that he was even planning on proposing to her before everything fell apart.
Wow.
After spending a bit more time going over the timeline of the relationship, he moved on to talking about the day of the incident. And according to him, this is what happened after Melinda's friend and sister checked up on them. We continued to talk and finally decided it was worth it to try one more time. Anna and her other friend left the house to grab food. We both let everything out and our relationship was back on track. As I'm getting ready to leave, she asked me if I had done anything with any other girls while we were on a break, or any time we were on a break. I told her we needed to be honest and said yes and told her about it. She started freaking out, wouldn't say a word, just kept slapping me with tears in her eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
Slaps turned into hits. I told her I was sorry, but if she didn't stop, I'd do something back. She didn't stop.
Uh-oh.
I then stupidly pushed her, harder than I expected. She fell against the sink. This was the first time I ever did something physically violent towards her. I told her I was sorry. She said, leave now. I began saying sorry even more and asked if I could get a hug. She was still crying. I go up to her to try and give her a hug. Almost out of nowhere, she grabs a knife by the sink. Initially, I thought she was just going to hold it to try and tell me to leave. She doesn't. She comes at me full force, aiming towards my face. I tell her to stop. She doesn't. I tried grabbing the knife but ended up cutting my hands. After a few cuts, I lost it. I freaked out. I was scared and in a state of shock. Never in 100 years did I think she would use a knife against me. Out of shock and fear, I grabbed one. I hit her with it, almost blindly, a few times. I didn't know what happened. I was confused, shocked, and scared. I had no intentions of that happening. When I left, I honestly thought she just passed out. Then I looked at the blood.
You should have just left.
Freaking out and just ran. I didn't know for sure she had died until the next day. I honestly had no intention of ever doing that to her. I was protecting myself. From there,
Yeah,
he
you
went
should
on
have
to
just
talk about
left,
the
dude.
amount of regret and sadness he was feeling for what happened to Melinda. He also expressed his shock over the news, calling this a targeted attack. Now, on their own, these look like the words of a man desperately trying to clear his name after an accident, when in reality, every word in this post was carefully selected by Ager to make himself look as innocent as possible. For instance, he claimed that Melinda often slapped and hit him near the beginning of his story, so that it doesn't seem suspicious when he mentions it later. When, according to people who knew her, Melinda was extremely sweet and had no violent tendencies. Ager also downplayed the break-in
You
attempt,
liar.
claiming he merely visited her house to talk. and even left out the part about Melinda getting a restraining order against him following that incident. He also mentioned that he swung his knife just a few times in self-defense, when in reality, autopsy results showed a staggering 47 different wounds on her body.
Oh yeah, that's quite a few.
By this point, the police knew that he crossed the border a few hours later and was now hiding in the US. And while it did take them a few weeks to pinpoint his location, they were eventually able to arrest and charge him with the murder of his once girlfriend. Further investigation also revealed other twisted methods he tried to seem more innocent, like sending a message to Melinda saying, "Nice seeing you tonight, glad we worked things out. Anyways, see you soon," hours after committing the crime. He stood trial on October 2023, where the jury concluded his
Why would you
motive
do
boiled
that?
down to, "If I can't have you, no one can." He was given a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 16 years. On June 7, 2019, a throwaway account made a post on the Confessions subreddit claiming to be responsible for the deaths of several people. The post opened with the OP talking about his life goal 4 years ago, how he didn't get stuck in a 9-to-5 cycle. So he came up with a different business plan, selling substances.
Oh boy.
However, this really didn't work out as well as he'd hoped. He hated meeting people in person and was constantly afraid of someone finding out who he was and where he lived. But then he learned about a
That makes
popular
sense.
marketplace for illicit substances on the dark web and started using that to conduct business. Things were going well, and even upgraded from selling just 3 substances to shipping several much more potent options as well. Unfortunately, what started as a major boom for his business turned into a massive disaster when he accidentally sent the wrong items for a few orders, stating, "I put all my addresses into an Excel spreadsheet along with their name, zip code, order, along with the amount. At the time, I was selling some super white powdered meth. The was also a white powder. Very
Oh, no.
similar consistency. Long story short, my Excel messed up or I messed up, and about 7 people's orders were filled in as orders. They all went out. I didn't notice and kept doing my thing for a few days. After about 5 days, someone contacted me and told me their friend died from my I immediately called BS and went to check my order log and scale up how much I had of my left. Well, I had about 11 grams more than I should have.
Oh, no.
I still don't know how it could have happened. I wasn't a user, but I definitely was high. Put simply, the OP accidentally sent a much harder substance to his
I was so
customers.
high.
And while I can't mention its name
Idiot.
on YouTube, it is known to be extremely lethal in even relatively small quantities.
Fentanyl?
He searched the names of these customers online and discovered that at least
Can't
5
say
of them
fentanyl on
passed away
YouTube?
due to his mistake.
I knew what he
The
was
sheer
talking
gravity
about.
of his actions prompted him to immediately abandon the drug trade and rebuild his life, stating, "I immediately deactivated my vendor
Primus
account.
literally has a
I
song
gave
about
no
it.
confirmation. I knew what happened. I knew I
Little
just
Lord
killed
Fentanyl.
several people.
Like, come
I
on.
sold the rest of my drugs, converted my Bitcoin to cash, and moved away. Didn't speak to anyone for weeks. Found a job in a restaurant, living in a city I always wanted to.
It's one of their newest
I haven't
songs.
left
It's a good
the
song,
since that
too.
day. I haven't had anything to do with that life since then." However, the OP ended the post by claiming that, despite getting as far away from his old life as he possibly could, the guilt of being responsible for so many lost lives still weighs heavily on him, and that the only reason he confessed everything on Reddit was to finally get it off his chest, hoping it might bring him some sense of relief. Now, whether this actually helped him feel any better or not is completely unknown. This was his first and last post from this account, and he hasn't posted any updates since. As for if he was actually telling the truth, that much is uncertain. It's near impossible for me to track down any news articles about his unfortunate customers, given that over 100,000
Jesus.
people every year lose their lives from that same substance. That
That's
said,
insane.
many users in the comments believe the story was genuine, and some even express sympathy for the OP's situation, though I doubt we'll get any concrete answer on this confession's legitimacy anytime soon.
Wow. Well. Insane. Hold
On
on.
January 8th, 2000,
Excuse me. I need to like your other video.
on
Here we
May
go.
8th,
Real found footage. Ooh.
On January 8th, 2005, a man named Martin discovered a mysterious package in his mailbox. Confused, he brought it inside and opened it up. Inside the package was a single item, a
Neat.
videotape with no label or note to explain its contents.
Yeah.
Curious to see what was on it, he put it in his camcorder and pressed play.
I'm sure
And
it's
the
fine.
footage he found on it was shocking to say the least. It contained a nearly hour-long video of a man describing the violent things he was about to do. How he was going to lure his victims and the makeshift devices he was going to use.
I'm not trained in torture methods, which is what I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here. The reason why it's got this padding on it is just to try to silence it a bit because I'm in an apartment. I got gags, socks, I got lots of duct tape. I got a soldering iron, sheets. It's rather crude implements. I think can work wonders, especially if it's used in the right way.
However, while the content itself was extremely grim, what disturbed Martin more was the fact that he personally knew the person on screen.
Oh my god.
This wasn't the manifesto of a serial killer planning to take innocent lives. Instead, it was the final message of Martin's close friend, Ricky Rodriguez, a man who was tormented by a cult from the moment he was born. He eventually managed to escape the cult and was now planning to take revenge on the people who did unspeakable things to him for all those years.
Oh
He
no.
recorded this hour-long video and mailed it to his few friends and family so they would find it and have all the answers about what he was about to do and why.
I'm making this video, well, for many reasons, I guess. I suppose the main reason is that I want there to be some record of the way I feel, my ideas, just who I was, really.
Ricky's story began 30 years earlier on January 25, 1975, when he was born as the first child of Karen Alva Zerby. Karen was a member of a cult called the Children of God, which used Christian language to lure in young, impressionable minds, often teenagers, and molded them to its sick and perverse ideals. 2 years after Ricky's birth, he was adopted by the cult's leader, David Burke, who presented himself as the Chosen One.
That son of a
David
bitch is
changed
creepy.
the cult's name to the Family and declared Ricky to be a religious herald, granting him a special position in the organization. However, while he was treated like royalty by the other members on the surface, behind closed doors, Ricky was the victim of vile acts no child should ever have to endure. David not only encouraged these acts, but went as far as to write a whole book about everything he and his followers did to Ricky, called The Story of DeVito. This abuse continued for many years. But
It's
as Ricky
DeVito, not
aware of
DeVito.
David's lies
The
and
story of
manipulation,
Danny DeVito.
Then in 1999, he finally managed to escape the cult with his girlfriend Alexia Manuel by faking a visit to the cult's compound in Mexico and fleeing to the US instead. Reintegration into society after 24 years in an isolated cult was anything but simple. But Ricky somehow managed to pull through and secure a job as an electrician.
Bro, that guy didn't
He
give a
also
shit.
married Alexia
He
and
stopped
later
right in
moved
front of
to
that car.
Arizona due to his work. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried to move forward, the nightmare he escaped continued to haunt him. David had passed away in 1994, and the cult was now under the supervision of Karen Zerby, Ricky's mother. And while the cult had managed to escape legal repercussions by mainly operating overseas, Ricky knew that there were still countless children suffering the same fate as him. So, in January of 2005, he decided enough was enough and took matters into his own hands.
Dude.
Which brings us back to the video he recorded and then mailed to a handful of close friends and his wife. In it, Ricky mentioned his ultimate goal, which was to bring down the cult all on his own. Beyond that, a part of this was also about getting revenge for everything that was done to him.
Okay, just buffered.
That I have this need. It's not a want. It's a
Freaking out.
need, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's a need for revenge. It's a need for justice. Because I can't go on like this.
In this video, he also laid out his plan for accomplishing this goal. He'd apparently gotten in contact with his previous nanny, Angela Smith, who was among the group that tormented him during his time in the cult. He was going to invite her over for dinner at his apartment in Tucson and make her tell everything she knew about the other members' whereabouts.
Kick her ass.
By any means necessary. And that's exactly what he did. On January 8th, after mailing copies of his recording, he invited Angela into his home and proceeded with the plan. It's unclear what information he managed to extract from her before taking her life. He then got into his car and drove to Blythe, California. There, he rented a motel and called his wife to tell her about what he had done and what he was going to do next. However, despite the meticulous planning, Ricky ultimately couldn't follow through with the rest of his plan. On the morning of January 9th, authorities found his car in a parking lot just a few miles from the hotel he was staying at. Ricky was found inside the car as well, where he had taken his own life. And while this was tragic news for his loved ones, it was hardly surprising for his wife. You see, Ricky believed that killing the cultists would bring him peace, something he reiterated in his last video.
I can imagine how I would feel how liberating it would be.
But that's not what happened. During his call with his wife, he confessed that despite his anger and resentment, killing Angela was the hardest thing he had ever done.
Wow.
Taking revenge didn't bring the comfort he was looking for. He couldn't bring himself to take any more lives and decided to end it all that night, leaving his friends and family with this hour-long video to remember him by. As for the family cult, it remains active to this day under the leadership of his mother.
Wow. That sucks.
On October 4th, 2006, at approximately 6:15 a.m., the Barrie Police Department received a chilling call from a woman saying, "My children are dead," in a calm and quiet voice. The disconnect between her tone and the situation she was describing was extremely unsettling. When asked what happened, she replied, "I don't know, I don't remember."
Oh.
Police officers immediately rushed to the address she provided and knocked on the door of her apartment, bracing for what they might find. The door opened and they were greeted by 31-year-old Frances Elaine Campione. When the officers asked her about the children she mentioned on her call, she replied in the same disturbingly calm voice, stating, "Yes, they're dead. They're on my bed." As the officers entered the master bedroom, he saw the remains of two little girls,
It's creepy.
3-year-old Serena
Aww.
and 19-month-old Sophia, lying on the bed. Both were dressed in clean clothes and were also wearing necklaces and earrings. However, their skin was starting to turn blue, suggesting they might have been deceased for quite some time. One of the officers also noticed a small bruise on Sophia's forehead, and that was it. There was nothing else in the room that could have explained their deaths. But as the investigators looked through Elaine's apartment, they found a camcorder with footage that explained everything. The recording started on a wholesome note, showing Elaine surprising Serena with a new bike on her 3rd birthday on August 8th.
Hi, Serena. It's August 8th,
Aw,
2006.
this sucks.
Happy birthday to you.
I don't like
Happy
this.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena. Happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the living room and see if you've got any birthday presents from the birthday fairies?
Yes!
Okay, let's go.
I have to go.
What is it?
It's a bike.
The next video also showed Elaine and her 2 daughters just hanging around and having fun.
I love you.
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that.
So far, everything looked quite normal. However, the 3rd recording, dated October 2nd, was when things started to get weird. The tone of the recordings instantly changed as Elaine suddenly went on and on about their horrible living conditions and the torment her ex-husband Leo and his family had put her through, said all in front of her children.
You can't see through the camera, boo-hoo. Oh, yes, this is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess.
Looks fine to
I
me.
think
Okay.
Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. His son
Wow.
is Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after. After the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and then the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse, which wouldn't stop, and I had CAS keep bringing these 2 people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse it was causing my 3-year-old daughter Serena and I and Sophia. It was horrible and uncalled for, and I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have.
Leo was apparently extremely abusive, both physically and mentally. He prevented her from contacting her parents, and at one point even kicked her in her stomach while she was pregnant.
Oh my God.
This resulted in Leo getting charged with domestic violence, and the 2 getting divorced. However, at the time of this recording, Leo was starting to turn things around, and was engaged in a legal battle with Elaine over the custody of their daughters.
Oh
This
boy.
took an immense toll on Elaine's mental health. She was already quite unstable and had been to the psych ward twice in the past couple of years.
Ooh.
But according to her mother, the custody battle caused her to lose it completely and developed severe paranoia. She became worried that Leo would one day show up and forcibly take her daughters away. Then, on October 2nd, after ending this recording at 8:39 p.m., Elaine did the unthinkable by taking the lives of her own daughters, then recording a haunting confession that investigators discovered on the same camera.
Sucks.
Recording this because Leo, there, are you happy? Everything's gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me, telling her I had to sign papers when I didn't. I went to victim witness to get the truth. Trying, begging everyone the truth. How you beat me. 3 years behind closed doors, beat me when I was pregnant with Serena and Sophia. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You care about yourself. You wanted to win. You won. Are you happy? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Because it doesn't make me feel great. I've lost everything my whole life.
At this point, the camera cut to a later point where Elaine attempted to take her own.
I tried to overdose.
Remodeling time at their Aurelia and Bracebridge stores. They are changing the displays. Now is the time to make a great deal on an Ontario-made hydro-cooled hot tub. In stock models, floor models, or custom orders.
Welcome back.
Pool Spa Sauna Showroom, making waves in Aurelia, Bracebridge, and soon to be in Huntsville. You can also check them out on the web at poolspasaunashowroom.com.
Elaine was arrested on the spot and was later charged with murder, with the found footage in her home serving as crucial evidence against her. She was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Years ago, the Bureau of Land Management published a public service announcement dubbed Stay Out and Stay Alive, educating viewers about the countless dangers of exploring abandoned mines, including the very real risk of cave-ins,
but it's fun,
explosives, wild animals, and entire sections without oxygen. However, the most chilling part of the video was the story and the accompanying found footage of an accident that had occurred years earlier.
Oh God.
On July 4th, 1998, a group of young men found an abandoned mine in Nevada and decided to explore it for fun.
Why?
Surprisingly, the boys seemed acutely aware of the mistake they were making right from the start.
As you see Briz pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're gonna go anyway. This is a
So you're gonna die.
Danger.
Yet the allure of exploring a place untouched for decades was too tempting for them to ignore. However, the deeper they went into the mine, the more dangerous it became, with the boys walking over sketchy wooden bridges to continue their journey. They even found signs of the mine caving in, but chose to ignore those signs just to venture deeper.
You look at all this.
Why?
The rocks and stuff
Why would you do that?
Ceiling, which indicates that
come on.
He'd be walking this way. And, well, they've already fallen, so they're not gonna fall again. Well, there's more to fall still.
An important thing to keep in mind is that these weren't professionals with prior experience of safely exploring abandoned mines. This was just a group of boys looking to do something cool and film the adventure.
Yeah.
They could have easily plunged to their deaths down a 1,000-foot mine shaft or gotten lost in the miles-long maze of tunnels, which started looking more and more likely as time went on.
Yeah, we gotta remember where we're... Okay, we got out here. Who painted these X's and stuff? Grant. What do they mean? Dead ends and stuff. Okay, they're all got an X on. They all go this way. That one's got an X.
There's no way.
It's also got that. What is it?
There's no way I would ever do this.
Goes down. Along there. Ooh, that's not a little. Well, it'd be kind of hard if you slipped and fell. You could catch yourself before you actually fell down that. Not if panic set in and you scream like a little girl.
Toxic gases and radioactive elements could have also caused serious health issues down the line, if not immediately. Fortunately, they somehow managed to avoid all of these dangers and make their way fairly deep into the mine. But then they came across something that could have ended all of their lives in one fell swoop.
Oh.
Got them pipes. Oh, wow. We have to climb that?
Yeah, don't everybody get up.
I got it. You're gonna be the lucky one to fall. This is going to America's Funniest when somebody falls. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, that's on the table. Don't touch that.
While crossing a sketchy section of the mine, one of the boys noticed a rope dangling down from one of the wooden beams and immediately became curious about whatever was down there.
Down to the main shaft. Wow, so we're climbing down this rope. Yeah. How are we getting out of it? Climbing up it. I see.
They had little rope climbing experience between them. However, they didn't let that stop them from accomplishing their desires. The guy named Adam decided to be the first one to descend, resulting in this.
How far down does it go?
All the way down to that ladder. You were going down.
Or
Like a good 30 feet.
or am I gonna hook this
I'll
camera?
go first. I am. About 300 feet. You don't like to break out.
Oh, come on.
Put it like he's doing it in your mouth. Yeah, it's all like this. Is it off now? No, it's not. How am I gonna get this thing down there? Yeah, but how am I get back up? I don't have.
Take good. Give you my belt. Stretch it.
Adam! Oh! Adam! Oh!
Wow.
Adam! Yes. Adam! Oh God. Oh God, somebody help. Adam!
The rope Adam chose to trust was completely worn and gave way shortly after putting his weight on it. This caused him to plunge 65 feet down a dark mine shaft and lose consciousness. Luckily, none of the damage he took on his way down was immediately lethal. He was still breathing. His friends were able to find an exit and contact the authorities, who eventually rescued Adam after an hours-long rescue mission. Ultimately, them escaping the mine without any casualties was nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah.
The mine shaft could have easily been over 100
I thought that was going to be way worse.
Adam could have just as easily hit his head on the surrounding wall. Both of these scenarios would have resulted in his death. What's even worse is that the whole group could have gotten stranded in the shaft if the rope broke when the last person was going down.
Oof.
With no way to contact the outside world, the group would have likely died of starvation. Fortunately, they were able to walk away from this terrifying experience with just a few broken bones along with cuts and scratches.
Wow.
On the 25th of February 2022, the Perea Fuel Company hired maintenance workers to reopen one of the underwater lines connecting their oil unloading dock and refinery. The operation team included 5 men: Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf, Rishi, and Faisal. They were going to use a pressurized habitat to inspect the pipe and make any necessary repairs. However, shortly after entering this habitat, all 5 men disappeared from the worksite, leaving those on the surface to wonder what could have happened.
The hell?
It wasn't until rescuers found footage from a GoPro mounted to one of the divers' suits that the full truth came to light. The footage showed the men struggling to open the valve keeping the pipe shut, prompting Kazim to go get a wrench. He returned to the habitat and handed the wrench over to his co-workers. But then, a few seconds later, this happened.
Huh? Oh. Oh yeah, that's not good.
The moment the valve was opened, its low pressure created a powerful vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Water rushed into the habitat, while the pressurized air violently forced everyone into the pipe. All 5 of the men were forced into the 30-inch wide pipe, faster than they could blink.
Wow. Oh, Jesus.
After tumbling through the metal pipe at violent speeds for a minute and a half, they came to a stop at a section containing a small air pocket, just enough to keep them alive, allowing them a brief moment to find their bearings and assess the gravity of their situation. All of them were barely breathing, and one of them had also injured his leg. And while the air pocket was keeping them alive for the moment, it wasn't going to last very long. So, with no other option, the 2 men at the front, Christopher and Faisal, started moving forward in hopes of reaching the pipe's end and getting help for the other 3. But after making their way through several flooded sections, Faisal lost hope and refused to go any further. This left Christopher to continue alone, and ultimately reach the end of the pipe, where he was eventually pulled out by rescuers. Unfortunately, the same did not happen for his 4 co-workers. Days passed, and the rescue efforts were slim to none, eventually leaving the other 4 to die in that cramped metal tube. The company's CEO later defended this decision, stating that a rescue mission would have only endangered more lives. The incident sparked widespread outrage and even forced the regional government to launch an inquiry into how such a disaster was allowed to happen in the first place. But, as is the case with countless similar incidents, nothing much came of it, despite the numerous hearings. The other 4 divers were left for dead. That said, the Trinidad government did announce a compensation of $1 million for each of their families, as well as Christopher, in April 2025.
Jesus.
On April 28, 2000, 22-year-old Russian diving instructor Yuri Lipsky decided to reach the depths of the Blue Hole in Dahab, Egypt. This was a risky plan from the get-go,
That's pretty.
since the Blue Hole is widely regarded as the deadliest diving site in the world, with as many as 200 fatalities in recent years.
Oh, man.
To make matters worse, before his dive, Yuri asked a local technical diver to accompany him on his journey. All of them rejected him, since the preparations for this risky of a dive took as long as a week. Yet Yuri wanted to go in just 2 days, no matter what. Even after every instructor refused to support his plan, instead of backing out, Yuri made the worst mistake of his life and chose to go through with it alone. He started the dive around noon and quickly disappeared into the depths of the ocean. However, many hours passed and there was no sign of Yuri anywhere. His concerned mother enlisted the help of a local technical diver named Tariq Omar, who immediately set out to rescue her son.
Man, come on, you can't do shit like that.
When he found Yuri, it was already too late. Tariq discovered Yuri's lifeless body floating near the floor of the Blue Hole.
Don't do
Day,
that.
he returned with the necessary equipment to bring Yuri's body back to
Don't
the
let your
surface
hubris
and
get the
got to
best
work.
of you.
But as he was about to take Yuri back, he noticed that Yuri's diving camera was lying nearby. So he grabbed that as well and began ascending. This camera had captured the final moments of Yuri in haunting detail. The dive started like any other, with Yuri swimming alongside many other divers. However, it wasn't long before everyone else faded from view as he started to descend deeper into the Blue Hole. And that's when all the worst possible things started happening in rapid succession. It started with him failing to keep his gas levels under check, resulting in him getting nitrogen poisoning and becoming extremely disoriented. By the time he realized his situation, he was already sinking like a rock. He started panicking and began inflating his buoyancy control device quickly to avoid sinking any further. Tragically, this backfired. The buoyancy control device bursted due to the rapidly increasing pressure, leaving Yuri no way of safely returning to the surface.
Damn.
The increasing depth exacerbates the symptoms of nitrogen poisoning as well, and it wasn't long before his camera captured the horrific sounds of him struggling to breathe.
I thought that's what that was.
Sinking to the 377 feet or 115 meters deep sea floor and passing away. The only silver lining in this whole situation is that there's a good chance the found footage helped at least one diver avoid a similar fate by learning from the mistakes that cost Yuri his life.
Wow. All right. What's this? Oh yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer now. Yay! After all that bummer shit. Wow.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Freddy Fazbear.
Not the Freddy's I remember.
You're thinking of the franchise location. This is the original. Nobody's been here for decades.
Freddy. It's a balloon boy. And the toys and the puppet.
Do you guys hear that?
I love the lore. The lore is immaculate. I do not like the games. They're stupid. Ooh, Five Nights at Freddy.
So this is what it's like? Being normal?
I think we've come pretty far.
Hey.
Considering what we've been through.
How's Abby?
Some days she's good. Some days she misses her friends.
Oh, neat.
This story that you're gonna fix those animatronics, it's only giving her false hope.
Can any of you hear me?
Oh, it's the speaky thing from the games.
Oh no.
They're out there, Mike.
Where?
Everywhere.
Cool.
Where are you gonna run to? I'm not done with you.
Is that Springtrap? Nice.
There's no way that'll work.
Oh yeah. Gotta put the mask on to avoid getting killed. Cool. Man, the games are boring. They're so boring. Stupid time management games. What is this?
In February of 2000.
What is this? Is this more bummer shit? Where's the mouse? Alright, there. This is, that looks pretty cool. I will watch it. Foremost, disturbing early internet rabbit holes. Okay.
2004, a user on a now outdated message board asked other members about a strangely morbid site they
Never heard of
recently
this.
came across. The post read, "SeeMeRot.com. Is this coffin webcam real? I recently visited www.seemerot.com, which is a live webcam inside a coffin that is taping a woman in her 40s who passed away from natural causes.
Huh.
Something isn't right here. They claim it's real, but there is very loose wording under the disclaimer. Someone please help clear this up. Is it a hoax? There seems like there are too many loose ends here. There has to be more to the story than this." Visiting this site today leads to an Australian fashion and lifestyle blog that has nothing to do with what this post was talking
Cool.
about. Fortunately, this domain has been extensively archived by the Wayback Machine over the years, allowing us to go back in time and see how it used to look in August of 2003. And sure enough, it was just as bizarre as the OP mentioned in their post. Its logo was the site's name over a picture of a coffin with an ominous caption tagline reading,
Yeah.
"Being dead and buried doesn't mean you can't have friends over." Below this was a
Like
supposed
that.
live view from within a coffin featuring two cameras pointed at the deceased face and feet. Live streaming video over the internet wasn't really a thing back then, so
Yeah.
these were more akin to images that were updated periodically. These images were too low res and hard to decipher, even for 2003 standards, hinting that this whole thing might have been nothing more than a hoax. But less than a month later, the site's owner replaced them with a much clearer picture of the person in the coffin.
Oh.
It showed what was supposed to be the final resting place of a young woman in a light blue button-up shirt. This new feed also refreshed every 10 seconds with an updated picture. However, the most disturbing part of this website wasn't the coffin stream, but the description beside it. It opened with the site's owner providing a detailed play-by-play of what exactly they did to get this live preview.
Live
stating,
coffin cams.
"Welcome to SeeMeRot.com. This site is dedicated to all who have gone before us. 2 months ago, we attached the world's first live coffin cams to the interior of our subject's casket.
Ooh.
This was done after friends and family had seen the deceased for the last time. We then traveled over 2,000 miles with the casket to the family's chosen burial place, undisclosed to protect gravesite. Having arrived at the graveyard, a small ceremony was held, after which
Family's
the final
spelled wrong.
preparations were made to our transmitting hardware and lighting units. All went according to plan at first, and the casket was lowered just after lunchtime, April 15th, 2003.
Okay.
Cam tests were carried out at the site and the grave was sealed. We then sent off back to our office in the heart of Seattle. This description ended with the site's owner urging readers to contact them if they wanted a coffin cam for their loved ones as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
The whole purpose of this site appeared to be an advertisement for their disturbing service, which left visitors with more questions than it answered. Like,
They're
who in
selling
their
like
right mind would
hotcakes.
want to see the decay of their friends and family after their passing. But while people were figuring that out, SeeMeRot.com became a phenomenon on the early internet, with people talking about it on forums, prompting even more flock to the site out of sheer curiosity. It even got picked up by mainstream media like the QI, or Quite Interesting show from the UK. The biggest question most visitors had, however, was whether it was actually legit. Were these images really from the inside of a coffin? Well, as it turned out, SeeMeRot.com was nothing more than a hoax.
Yeah, no
Some
shit.
savvy users quickly figured out that the live preview wasn't live at all. Instead, it was the looping GIF of a still image that went in and out of focus to emulate a live digital camera from that era. This also explains why the supposed body didn't change one bit in the 10 years the site was up.
Wow,
But
10
this
years?
begs the question, why?
Jesus.
Why would someone go through the effort of setting up a whole website centered around this false premise? The creator even went as far as to add a legal section with disclaimers about how this was all being done with consent, all in an effort to make it seem more legit. One of the first explanations that comes to mind is that this was an art project of sorts. Though a closer look at this site suggests that its creation was driven more by profit than by artistic intent. You see, this site has had advertisements on its homepage, often for adult content from its inception, something that was very common in the early internet days. A site called the Museum of Hoaxes even managed to track down the site's registration address to some adult business in West Hollywood, California.
Oh, nice.
Put simply, the creator of SeeMeRot.com created this hoax to entice visits from around the world and then leverage those visits to earn money from sponsors. As for the images featured on the site, who these people are is still unknown, but they were likely taken by the creators themselves, possibly one of their friends, as I wasn't able to find any record on the internet from before the site went up. SeeMeRot.com was ultimately shut down in 2013. It has since changed owners multiple times between different businesses, including a coffee company and now a fashion and lifestyle blog from a tiny remote town in Australia. That said, the identity of the original creator remains a mystery to this day. They exhibited some odd behavior.
See me rot while I'm fashionable.
Continuing to update the site to make its, and by extension their coffin cam business, seem more legit, despite the internet figuring things out by 2004. At one point, they even made up a story about the police confiscating their camera equipment.
Oh, yeah.
It's now been over 12 years since the original site was up. Mortis.com.
What the hell are
In
these?
2010, a bored 4chan user was typing random URLs in their browser, hoping to stumble across something interesting. And while most URLs they tried were either unavailable or belonged to some business,
I've never heard of
one
this
caught
shit,
their
man.
attention almost immediately. Mortis.com.
I've never heard of
was
this
a
shit.
completely black page with nothing but a generic login window in the middle. There was no logo or description that could help visitors understand what the website was about. This mysterious landing page, combined with Mortis roughly translating to "of death" in Latin, piqued this user's curiosity. But without a valid username and password, there was nothing he could do to investigate.
It was the homepage for Mortis the
He
Wrestler.
turned to 4chan and made a post about the site on its technical
Duh.
board. What he didn't realize at the time, however, was that this would spark a decades-long mystery that remains unsolved to this day.
Yeah.
Now, I should mention that while some still
I make sure I have all my shit on if I do that.
Threads and forum posts regarding Mortis.com,
If I'm searching for certain things, you know?
including the wiki page users created to keep track of all their findings.
Like information about video games or whatever. And it's like a sketchy site. I make sure I have all my security stuff
From
on.
the site's owner. In other words, whoever this owner is, they do not want people digging into this. The Mortis.com site also went down sometime in 2011, possibly because people started trying to brute force its login requirements.
Big
based
fan
on
of him,
special
by the way.
software to try and
He was
make
really
into
cool.
username and password combinations, so the owner took it down. Now, most of these attempts led nowhere, but a few more tech-savvy individuals managed to extract valuable information from the site's code before it went offline. Most interesting among these was the fact that it was originally registered all the way back in November of 1997 by a man named
he was cool
Thomas
as hell.
Ling. This allowed users to discover 24 other websites
Dental
under the
fill-ins?
same name. But instead of offering clarity, the discovery of these additional sites only made the mystery more complicated.
Jeffrey Ling?
Take Cthulhu.net, for
What?
instance,
Cool.
which was named after the eldritch monster created by H.P. Lovecraft.
Sweet.
It was just a black page with the text "Dead but Dreaming"
Oh, that's cool.
and nothing else. Some users also claim
Does that site still exist? Hold on.
with a white chess piece.
Hold on. I have to see now. I have to see. Hold on. What? Go away. I have to see if Cthulhu.net is still up. Oh, Oh, damn it. Damn it. It's not there. Nothing weird popped up when I typed. Chrome, cold ground. Oh yeah, cold ground. Shh, don't look at this one. To be downloader. Shh. Let's see. Yeah, that's auto dissect. CT scan. Disk drill. Let's see. Cthulhu.net. Cthulhu Death May Die. Wow, look at this. I search a lot for Cthulhu stuff, don't I? It's like I like him or something. Oh. Jesus Christ, I really do. Wow.
On it, though I wasn't able to find any archives.
I think he's very cool.
Detail. Either way, the whole thing was deeply puzzling and mysterious.
So much Cthulhu stuff I've searched for. It's like, holy shit.
Exercio.com led to a landing page with 4 different options.
Oh,
Of
neat.
these, quilts.html was the most notable, as it led to a page about someone sharing pictures of their quilting projects.
Oh, wow.
And while this doesn't look all that important to the Mortis.com mystery at first glance, in actuality, it holds the key to answering everything, or
Does it
at least
really?
getting as close to the answer as we can. But we'll get to that a bit later, because
How?
there's another key piece of this puzzle that we haven't discussed yet. You see, while people were snooping around the Mortis.com code and the emails relating to its domain, they discovered terabytes of encrypted data connected to this
Oh,
site.
my
which
God.
is an unheard of amount of data for the late 90s.
Yeah.
Some individual files in this collection were as large as 39 gigabytes, which got people even more curious about what this site was hiding behind its login page.
That's a lot.
Theories included everything from a private collection of illegal explicit material to something connected to the 3-letter agencies like the CIA or FBI. However,
Yeah.
while people were trying to figure this out, Thomas allegedly contacted one of the investigators and told him to stop trying to hack his site. As the story goes,
Oh,
Thomas
wow.
also claimed that these files were nothing more than the photos and videos from his wedding, which would have been a reasonable explanation if these files were only a few gigabytes in size.
Yeah,
not
dude.
terabytes. A more reasonable theory, one that I personally believe in as well, is that Thomas was pirating movies and
Yeah.
other media and using Mortis.com to host them online. This way, he could easily consume this media from any device with an internet connection, while also being able to share it with all his friends and family. This would also explain why he was so reluctant about people finding out the truth, as it could land him in some trouble with the authorities.
No.
Most importantly, this theory isn't completely baseless either. While looking through the data connected to Mortis.com, one 4chan user stumbled upon a 25 gigabyte file with a seemingly gibberish name of Drive Crazy 3DBD25.part2.
The hell?
However, looking up Drive Crazy 3D followed by movie brings up results relating to a 2011 film by Nicholas
Oh, yeah, Drive
Cage
Angry.
called Drive Angry 3D. With that, we can decipher the rest of the name as well, with BD likely being the short form of Blu-ray disc and 25
Oh,
referring to its
yeah.
size in gigabytes. Put simply, Mortis.com was likely nothing more than a pirated media server. As for its
Nice.
honest name, it's possible he chose Mortis just because it sounded cool. The only big questions that remain are, who is Thomas Ling, and why does he own so many empty or just plain strange websites? And the answer to these lies in the quilting page we found earlier. Near the top of this page, there's a logo reading DFI. We can find this same logo in the FAQ section of another website registered under Thomas's name called dentalfillins.com. This was a job board of sorts for dentists that was likely operated by Thomas back in the day. We know this because one of his currently operational websites is thomaslingdds.com, which is a website for a San Francisco dentist named Thomas W. Ling. This quilting page also includes pictures of quilts created for Jeff and Josh for their first birthday. These names also align with 2 more domains Thomas registered in 2010 and 2014. Lastly, while looking through the many domains connected to Thomas, I discovered a subdomain of Cthulhu.net containing a 7-day travel journal. These entries
Cool.
describe Thomas and his wife Karen's adventures across Asia, including Thailand, China, and Hong Kong. And as expected, Thomas also owns the KarenLing.com domain as well. To summarize, Mortis.com was most probably a personal media server owned and operated by a San Francisco dentist named Thomas Ling. As for the many domains under his name, he acquired them for his businesses, close family members, or for random projects like creating an online travel journal. These were also meant to be a completely personal thing. Unfortunately, someone accidentally stumbled across one of his sites and turned them into a decade-long internet rabbit hole that many are still trying to figure out to this day. Slave Master.
Oh boy.
In the year 2000, a very disturbing chain message started spreading on AOL, which was a popular instant at the time. If a guy by the name of Slave Master contacts you, do not answer. He has killed 56 women that he
I miss AIM. Man, screw texting.
Please send out to all the women on your buddy list.
It's not as fun.
Also ask them to pass this on. He has been on Yahoo, AOL, Excite, so
Hey, what's up, Kev?
This is no joke. And please send this to men too, just in case. Send to everyone you know. Now, chain messages like this were fairly common back in the day. They were an evolution of the physical chain letters and often contained some pretty out there claims, like telling the reader to forward it to 20 people or something bad would happen in 3
Just watched a video about
This
chain
one,
letters and
however,
emails
felt
and stuff.
a lot more real,
It was cool.
And that's because it actually was. Slave Master wasn't the name of a fictional horror character someone had created to start an internet hoax. Instead, it was the username of John.
Yeah, I used to use all of those and AIM and ICQ
Someone
and
who used
yeah.
early online chat rooms like AOL to find and entrap his targets. One of his first online victims was 45-year-old Sheila Faith.
Oh god, that
She
sucks,
met John
man.
in 1994 in an online chat room. And after talking with her for a few weeks to gain her trust, John promised to pay for the surgery of her 15-year-old wheelchair-bound daughter, Debbie. All Sheila had to do was go to Kansas City where John lived, and he promised to take care of everything else. She agreed and moved to the city with Debbie in December of that year. Unfortunately, that was the last time anyone saw Sheila or Debbie alive. A few years later, John used the persona of Slave Master once again, this time with a 21-year-old Polish immigrant named Izabela Lewicka. Izabela met John in 1997 and began chatting with him almost daily. Over the next 2 years, John showered her with love and convinced her to move to Kansas City as well. Once she was there, he rented an apartment for her and even made her sign a marriage certificate, which he never turned in. But then Isabella suddenly disappeared, and when asked about her by her peers, John claimed that she was caught using drugs and was thus deported back to Poland.
Oh, come on.
Tragically, this lie worked better than he might have expected, giving him the confidence to look for his third online victim just a few months later. And the next person to fall in this
I think I've seen a movie about this.
Suzette Troughton. She was a nurse from Michigan with big dreams. John realized this early on in their conversation and posed as a wealthy businessman to entice Suzette. He offered her a $60,000 a year job working as his non-existent father's primary caretaker. And to sweeten the deal further, also promised to take her with him on his business trips around the world. This was what finally
Did you get the dog in Rome?
Already established life in Michigan and moved to Kansas City. But unlike his previous 3 victims who disappeared without a trace, Suzette gave John's name and number to her mother before leaving. Shortly after leaving for Kansas City, her mother also started receiving several typed letters, supposedly from Suzette, reassuring her of her safety. However, her mother found these letters incredibly suspicious, as Suzette had never sent a typed letter before. They were also free of any grammatical or spelling mistakes, which didn't match Suzette's writing style. So she called John, hoping to speak with her daughter. Instead, she was met with hostility from John, who accused Suzette of stealing his money and running away. But Suzette's mother knew her daughter would never do something like this. So she called the police on March 1st, 2000, kickstarting an investigation into John's life. The police in Kansas City, however, were already quite suspicious of him. You see, John was a lifelong con artist who'd been behind bars several times for embezzlement, forgery, and
how surprising.
charges. Most importantly, his name had already come up in multiple missing woman cases. Each time he escaped consequences due to insufficient evidence. This time, investigators held back and quietly kept John under surveillance. And it wasn't long before their patience paid off. One of his would-be victims called the police on him. This gave the authorities a warrant to put John under arrest and search his property for evidence. However, what this search uncovered was far more horrific than anyone could have imagined. As it turned out, Sheila Faith was far from his first victim. She was just the first one he lured through the internet. He'd already lured and killed 4 more women before Sheila.
I swear to God, I've seen a movie about this.
1984, including 19-year-old Paula Godfrey, 27-year-old Catherine Clampett, and 49-year-old Beverly Bonner. However, his worst crime was against 19-year-old Lisa Stasi. John approached Lisa and her 4-month-old daughter after
Yeah.
her father expressed his desire to adopt a child. He lured Lisa with promises of a stable life, only to end her life in a hotel room. He then gave Lisa's 4-month-old daughter to his brother, claiming that she was an orphan, and even pocketed $5,500 from them in legal fees.
Jesus.
After his arrest, authorities searched his property with cadaver dogs
Yeah.
and discovered multiple oil drums filled with the rotting remains of his victims. He was convicted in January 2003 and received 5
I've
life
totally seen a
sentences
movie
without
about
the
this.
possibility of parole, along with a death sentence for his crimes. Markovian parallax denigrate.
Oh, yeah.
On March 11, 2004, American journalist and U.S. Congresswoman
Bad shit
Suzanne
going on.
Lindauer was arrested by the FBI on suspicion of being a spy for Iraq. While doing some research on her, a Wikipedia user named Lazarus
I don't know if I own it or
666
not,
found
though.
a connection between her and a string of strange Usenet posts from 8 years earlier. For some context, Usenet was the precursor to modern internet forums. Discussions on Usenet were divided into several sections called the news groups.
Oh, I remember
similar to
Usenet.
subreddits on Reddit.
Wow.
Now, spam on Usenet wasn't exactly rare. Shady companies often made promotional posts in an attempt to market their products
Wow.
for cheap. However, on August 5, 1996, several groups were flooded with tens of thousands of posts that looked like regular spam at first, but a closer look revealed their true intention, or lack thereof. Put simply, these posts were mostly complete gibberish, with seemingly random strings of words formed into paragraphs.
Yeah, but there's...
Now,
hold
when
on.
Lazarus was researching Susan Lindauer, he came across one of the few surviving posts from that day and noticed that it was made by a Susan Lindauer as well. Lazarus speculated that these might have something to do with Susan sending encoded messages back to Iraq. Looking back, however, this theory makes little to no sense.
There's
mainly because
HTML in there,
decades,
too.
No one has been able to identify any patterns in the posts that might suggest they're encoded. More importantly, if Susan wanted to broadcast anonymous messages, why would she use an email with her own name on it? But regardless of how feasible Lazarus's theory was, it ended up generating a ton of interest in the topic. These strange Usenet posts were later given the name Markovian Parallax Denigrate, based on the subject line of the sole surviving post. It also became known as one of the first great mysteries of the internet, with people from around the world trying to figure out what these posts meant. Unfortunately, no one has been able to find a concrete answer ever since.
Cybernetic moth, marijuana Borneo.
Was eventually dropped by internet sleuths as they couldn't find anything connecting the two. It was also discovered that the email address actually belonged to a student of the same name from the University of Wisconsin. However, this also went nowhere, as the email address turned out to be spoofed from the start. People then looked into the mystery's title, Markovian Parallax Denigrate, and assumed that it might have something to do with the Markovian process, which is the math used by phone keyboards to predict the next word in a sentence, and even serves as the foundation for modern text-based AI services like ChatGPT.
Well, you know what?
Maybe someone was just experimenting with
That means it's responsible for autocorrect, and I hate it.
Unleash it on the Usenet. Unfortunately, this theory doesn't have much ground to stand on either. The thing is, this mystery only got the Markovian name because that was the subject of the most popular surviving post. This led many to falsely believe that this was the subject for all the thousands of similar posts made that day. But that can't be further from the truth. The word Markovian appeared on the subjects of only 2 posts out of thousands. Even if we assume these posts were generated by a Markovian bot, the theory still doesn't hold up, since the content of these posts was pure gibberish. Despite the fact that Markovian text generators from years before this incident were already capable of producing coherent sentences with relative ease. So,
that's cool.
What's the actual explanation here? What was the true meaning behind these thousands of seemingly nonsensical posts? Well, like many other mysteries on the internet, the most likely answer is also the simplest one.
It does.
Finally, this spam
God, man, it really does.
is just that, spam. Something that becomes abundantly clear when you consider that, with a single exception, the only news groups targeted were related to Christianity. In other words, there's a strong chance this was simply an attempt by an unknown user to troll Christian news groups. As for why the spam looked so jumbled, it was likely an attempt to bypass Usenet's spam filters, which typically flagged and deleted repeated messages. That said, this is still just an educated guess, and the rabbit hole can get much deeper the more you look into this. Maybe it did originate as something
I know, man.
like a text version
God,
of number station,
it's so bad.
to test the security of Usenet.
You get done typing and you look up at your sentence and you're like, that's not what I typed.
The spam theory is the best we have to explain the rabbit hole that is Markovian Parallax Denigrate.
That was interesting.
Elliot Eastman was a 26-year-old man.
Okay. I will be right back. I'm going to have to take a short bathroom break. Alrighty. Who is this? Elliot Eastman?
And from Vermont, USA. He spent most of his early years in the tiny town of
I think that's like a generic track I got from CapCut when it was still cool.
But with a population of less than 600 residents, it was also quite boring. Elliot wanted to do something more with his life. So, with his love for nature and exploration in mind, he saved up some money and traveled to the Philippines near the end
Marilyn
of
Manson did the score for the first
movie. He wanted to slowly
movie.
make his way through the entire country and witness its beauty firsthand. But just a couple months into his trip, he met a local woman named Carisha Jayla.
Oh, cool.
The two started dating and got married just a few months after that, in July of 2023. Then, in January 2024, Elliot started posting videos on YouTube, documenting his life in the Philippines with his wife.
Oh.
His videos were simple, without any over-the-top music or crazy editing effects.
Oh yeah,
but
dude.
they felt
I don't blame
authentic
you.
and real, allowing him to amass a small but dedicated fan base. Though his content took a massive shift in May 2024 when he decided to
Yeah,
move
man,
to
thanks
the
for stopping
beachside
by.
village his wife was from in the Cebuco municipality. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before this spiraled into the worst decision he'd ever make.
Oh.
You see, Cebuco is part of what's known as the Red Zone in the Philippines.
Oh, no.
Put simply, this is the most dangerous section of the country, especially for foreigners. Armed robberies, kidnappings, and even murders are not uncommon in this region.
Oh, so don't go there.
Westerners
Got it.
going missing there in just the last decade. However, Elliot was well aware of this fact, as evident from his channel's description, which read, "I'm Elliot Eastman. I am 26 years old and I came to the Philippines about a year and a half ago, where I met the love of my life deep in the mountains of the red zone of the Philippines. I will be showing you my day-to-day life as the first and only foreigner to have ever lived here in Cebuco for a long period of time." He mentioned the danger in some of his video titles as well, but despite the threat to his life, he still wanted to build a life in Cebuco. So he rented an apartment and even built his own grocery shop near the beach, all while documenting the entirety of his journey on YouTube. Now, there were times when he felt threatened and had to hide from some locals to avoid getting in serious trouble. But despite the somewhat dire circumstances, Elliot was enjoying his time
abandoned for disturbing
slowly
reasons.
building the life he wanted. However, just when things were starting to look up for Elliot, tragedy struck. The incident took place on the night of October 17th, 2024. When, after doing several short live streams throughout the day, Elliot went offline and sat for dinner with his wife and her parents. But then, a few minutes later, 4 men with guns barged into their home and started telling Elliot to go outside.
That's wonderful.
These men were also wearing outfits similar to those of the Filipino police, likely in hopes of making Elliot more cooperative. Elliot, however, saw through their disguise and tried to run away. Unfortunately, that's when things went from bad to worse. One of them opened fire and ended up shooting Elliot twice, once in the leg and once in the abdomen.
Oof.
They then dragged him onto the speedboat they had docked near their home and sped off into the darkness.
Oh, man.
This was the last time anyone saw Elliot alive. By the time the police launched a search and rescue mission, the kidnapper's boat was nowhere to be found. The investigation then went on for nearly a month until the 12th of November. But when the police eventually located the kidnappers, they were forced into a shootout, resulting in 3 of the 4 culprits losing their lives.
Wow.
And while they did manage to arrest the last kidnapper, it was already too late. According to the kidnapper, Elliot succumbed to his injuries when he was on the speedboat. So the kidnappers simply threw his body overboard to hide the primary evidence of their crime.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the police were unable to locate his remains and pronounced him officially dead in December of 2024. However, one question still remained unanswered. Why? Why did these 4 criminals target Elliot? Well, the simplest explanation is also the most likely one. They just wanted to kidnap him for ransom. Karesha even had a first-hand experience with this, as back in high school, one of her Canadian classmates was kidnapped and held for a ransom of $50,000 US.
Wow.
That said, there's also a second potential explanation that has to do with Elliot's side business. You see, while operating his grocery store, Elliot also started lending the locals money for 20% interest. A local loan shark likely saw him as a competitor and sought to eliminate Elliot before he took away any more of his business. This would also explain why the intruders were so quick to open fire if they wanted to hold him for ransom. Regardless of their motive, the end result was the loss of a young man trying to make a life for himself and his wife in a foreign land. His YouTube channel now sits abandoned, with its many uploads remaining as proof as the life he once lived. Benjamin Pardoon, known online as Warner the Goobermeister, was a comedian creator on YouTube who primarily focused on creating a genre of memes known as YouTube poops. Which is a subgenre of online humor that revolves around taking clips from other shows, usually cartoons, and editing them to have a bizarre, often nonsensical
I know
tone.
about YouTube poops.
Over time, Benjamin's channel had amassed over 8.7 million views, making him a well-known name in the YTP community. But after his upload on December 21st, 2021, he suddenly vanished from the internet, leaving his fans wondering what could have happened. Unfortunately, the reason for his disappearance was far more tragic than simply getting bored and moving on from the channel, as most of his audience had assumed. The incident took place on the 27th of January 2022, when his older brother Chris tried to contact him many times but didn't hear back. Left with no other option, Chris called the police at around 8 p.m. to check on his parents and little brother. When the officers arrived at his house, the lights were on, but no one was answering the door. After repeated knocks, the officers knew something was off, so they decided to break in. But nothing could have prepared them for the horrific scene they saw behind that door.
Oh no.
Inside, they found the bodies of Benjamin and his parents, all with visible gunshot wounds.
Oh, Jesus.
However, what looked like a robbery gone wrong turned out to be far more tragic. According to the investigation, both Benjamin and his mother Deborah were shot by his father that evening.
Oh my God.
After committing the crime, decided to end things for himself as well. The news of this incident was a massive shock for Benjamin's viewers, as he'd never mentioned any family troubles before. Chris later set up a GoFundMe page in November of 2022, which not only allowed Benjamin's fans to support the only living member of his family, it also gave some insight into what might have happened. According to Chris, Benjamin was born in 2005 and was soon diagnosed with autism. This made it difficult for him to interact with people in person. Because of this, he was homeschooled, and at just 8 years old, he started uploading on YouTube, hoping to make friends and find a sense of community. Sadly, Benjamin's condition was far from the only challenge their family had to face. Deborah was also suffering from nerve damage after an accident, and the father, Gregory, had also gotten in a car accident in the past and could barely walk. On top of that, the family was also struggling with severe financial issues, which could explain why Gregory felt the need to take such a drastic measure, seemingly out of nowhere. As Chris puts it, "My dad was a proud man. He was ashamed to ask or seek out help." Although Benjamin's content was somewhat niche, it left a big impact on those who came across it, with some even uploading new videos in his style to keep his memory alive.
Aww. That sucks.
Harley Dilly was a
God.
YouTube channel run by a 14-year-old teenager from Ohio with the same name. He created the channel in 2013 to share his love of gaming, specifically the sports game Madden, with others.
Oh, wow.
He also uploaded vlogs on YouTube, where he talked about anything that was on his mind that day. But for Harley himself, these were more than just videos. They were one of the many forms of escape he had from his troubled life. You see, Harley suffered from oppositional defiant disorder and was also diagnosed with high-functioning autism. This resulted in him getting into heated arguments with his parents quite often and subsequently ending up in a worse situation. In one instance, he even posted a video talking about how he was locked out of the house after an argument with his mother, titled, "I'm Scared."
Hey guys, what's up? It is Harley Dilly. Probably one of my worst days in my life. I was at school and I was science test. I finished it and my computer says 1% battery left. So I get to the next class and I put it on charger as quick as possible, but it didn't charge. None of the computers would take a charge. So I took it back and I had to fill out a complaint, and that's one of the most expensive parts of the computer. And my mom said she's not paying anything. We argued for about a good 5 minutes. Then she snapped. She said she was gonna call the police, and she said she already did. And she locked me out of the house. So right now I'm outside. Yep, the house is locked. It is 3:30. I haven't ate anything, and I still haven't even got to get my work done. My mom's gone. She won't answer the phone.
There were also allegations of some of his family members being physically aggressive to him.
Wow.
But despite all this, Harley was still a cheerful kid who wanted nothing more than to play Madden and grow his YouTube channel.
That sucks.
Unfortunately, this ambition was tragically cut short on December 20th, 2019, when Harley went to school and never came back. The day had started off rough. Harley was still upset after arguing with his parents the night before, as they had refused to replace his broken smartphone. He also didn't want to go to school that day. But his mother Heather woke up early that day and, after some more arguing, convinced him to go. He left his house just before 7 a.m., but he was somehow absent from school and didn't return home that evening either.
Oh no.
Harley had disappeared without a trace. Surprisingly, his family didn't report him missing until 11:50 p.m. on December 21st,
Wow.
nearly 43 hours after he vanished. Their explanation for the delay was simple. According to them, Harley had spent the night at friends' houses without telling them before, usually after an argument. They assumed this time was the same. However, they couldn't have been more wrong. Something that became increasingly clear as the police investigation dragged on for days without uncovering a single clue about his whereabouts. The only thing they found was this low-resolution picture of Harley going to school that was taken from a neighbor's security camera.
Oh, nice.
And that was it. Eventually, many other organizations, including the FBI, joined the search as well. They also distributed his missing posters nationwide and offered an $18,000 reward, hoping to receive any information that could lead them in the right direction. Unfortunately, although they received numerous tips, none led to any significant progress in the case. That is until the 13th of January, over 23 days after Harley went missing, when the investigators made the big discovery. They were recanvassing the area immediately surrounding Harley's home when one of the investigators decided to check out the vacant house directly across from the Dilly residence. This was a summer home and was fully locked at the time.
Mhm.
There was also no indications of anyone breaking into the home. However, the investigators had looked everywhere else to no avail. This was one of their last options. So they acquired the key to this home and started looking around.
I think
They
I know
didn't
where
find
this is
anything on
going,
the
but it
ground
still
floor.
sucks.
But as soon as they climbed the stairs, one of them noticed a maroon puffer jacket lying on the ground, the same jacket that Harley was wearing on the morning of his disappearance. As they got closer, they also noticed his glasses lying on the floor as well. But there were no signs of Harley anywhere. Both the glasses and the jacket had also collected plenty of dirt, indicating that they must have been there for a long time. While they were looking around, one of the investigators noticed the chimney vent above where his glasses and jacket were discovered. This sort of vent is used to connect traditional wood-burning heaters. Curious to see what was in it, he reached into the hole, only for his hand to touch human hair on the other side. There was no doubt about it. That was Harley, stuck in the chimney. Officers quickly dismantled the wall, and sure enough, they found Harley's body inside, with his arms raised above his head. A later autopsy concluded that he likely passed away the day he went missing. His particular position at the time of discovery also helped investigators piece together what might have happened that day. As the story goes, Harley didn't want to go to school that day, so he decided to spend the time at the vacant home until the afternoon to make it seem like he went to school. But when he couldn't find a way in from the ground floor, he climbed onto the roof using the antenna tower beside the house. From there, he looked into the chimney and saw a relatively short drop and chose to climb down it to enter the house. However, what he failed to realize was that this chimney didn't lead to a spacious fireplace. Instead, it only connected to a couple of small vents for heater exhausts, leaving him stuck at the bottom. Due to the way he climbed down, his jacket was likely halfway removed already. So he pushed it through the vent to free up some space, and his glasses fell through as well. Sadly, there was nothing else he could do in that position. His chest was pressed tightly against the chimney's wall, making it impossible to breathe, resulting in him slowly succumbing to asphyxiation. Put simply, this was nothing more than a tragic accident. Now, given this conclusion, Harley's case should have ended there. However, some people, especially his YouTube viewers, weren't satisfied with the official report. Many of them believed that this wasn't an accident at all. Rumors started going around the internet that Harley's death was actually a murder committed by his own family.
Oh, wow.
One of the first big points of contention was his jacket, since in one of the evidence images it could be seen hanging from the door. These critics claimed that this was proof of the whole story being a lie. Some also argued that the shoes he was wearing in his last picture didn't match the ones the investigators found on him. However, despite the skepticism,
how can you know
they
that?
stuck with their initial report. As for the jacket issue, that turned out to be nothing more than the result of one of the inexperienced investigators mistakenly moving key evidence. That said, whatever the truth may be, it doesn't change the fact that the YouTube community lost a genuine and passionate creator.
Damn, poor kid. That sucks.
Nicholas Sonderegger was a 28-year-old YouTuber who loved two things
Yeah.
in life, longboarding and dancing. He uploaded nearly 80 videos of himself doing both of these on his channel named Sunspeak, though his ultimate dream was to become a professional dancer.
Oh, cool.
By 2017, he was living in San Diego with his friend Austin to try and make his dream come true. However, the two were completely broke and couldn't afford California's high rent prices. So, with no other option, the two decided to live in tents or random trailers they could find in the Salton Sea area. Salton Sea used to be a popular tourist destination at one point due to its status as an oasis in the middle of the desert. But the water and the surrounding area became extremely toxic over time, turning it into a complete ghost town. On the flip side, this also made
looks
living
really
there
cool.
essentially free, which is what Nick and Austin were after. But what neither of them knew at the time was that the true danger of Salton Sea had nothing to do with its toxic climate. This danger came face to face with the two on the night of September 9th, 2018 at around 2 a.m. They were asleep in their tent when suddenly they were jolted awake by an extremely loud scream coming from the tree line not far from their camp. Fearing for their safety, they decided to just ignore it altogether and go back to sleep. Or that's at least what Austin thought. For some unknown reason, Nick later decided to go investigate the scream on his own after Austin had fallen back asleep. By the time Austin woke up the next morning, Nick was gone. He tried looking around for his longtime friend around town and discovered his flashlight lying on the ground just a block away from their tent. He immediately contacted the police and reported Nick as missing, who began looking for him almost immediately. But all they found was one of his boots, his pants, and his knife sleeve. His other boot, as well as his wallet and keys, were missing.
Huh.
More importantly, Nick himself was nowhere to be found.
That's weird.
What made the situation even more bizarre was what happened days later. Austin returned to the same area he had already searched, but this time he found Nick's shirt and hat lying there.
What the
items
hell?
that weren't there before. In other words, someone had likely placed them in that spot later. Sadly, the identity of this person was never uncovered, leaving Nick's case a complete mystery to this day. Nick's family has set up a website
That's
with all the
weird.
information they have. They've also announced a $10,000 reward for any useful information. But despite these efforts, the case has remained cold. In fact, there are so few clues that I wasn't even able to find any solid theories either.
Wow.
Some have speculated that Austin might have killed Nick and hidden his body. However, the police investigation uncovered no evidence of foul play. There's still a chance that some unexpected discovery would crack this case wide open. But until then, Nick's disappearance remains an unsolved mystery, and his YouTube channel remains abandoned.
Wow. Nope. Don't. Go back. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Elliot Eastman was a 20.
Here's the finale. Now, I know I said that we were never going to watch The Darkest Secret again. But I saw this, The Terrifying Case of the Cursed Boots of the Deep Web. And I had to know what this was.
One of the most real chilling modern elements in existence is the deep web. It has all the ingredients to be the most delicious dessert of creepypasta or conspiracy, with one subtlety. It exists, and many people have gone to jail for uploading there the most terrifying and inhumane content you can imagine. These are just a few examples of the real content that exists on the deep web. And that
I'm sure.
presents the dark and most secret side of the human collective.
I'm sure that's all real.
Real cases that fuel all kinds of conspiracy theories. At first, it was thought that videos like those shown in No Limits Fun were fake, that they were just rumors. No one could create something as horrific as that. Until Interpol gave us all some sad news. All the rumors were true. And the person behind the creation of those videos was now in custody. Since the arrest of Peter Scully, the whole world knew that things as perverse as those could exist. And today, I bring you the case of a new website taken from the deepest corners of the deep web.
Oh, yeah.
That, due to its extensive evidence in photos and videos, is probably real.
It's probably real. Okay.
Shiloh Hill is a TikTok user who
What the hell?
resides on the social network under the name Thundercat. But if his face looks familiar, it's because Shiloh is a popular WWE wrestler who, long before becoming famous, already had a tendency to wander in the dark.
I was like, what?
Fascinated with everything related to online mysteries and computing, Shiloh was a regular visitor to the deep web and dark surface forums, where he learned to hack. In this particular video, he's seen demonstrating to his audience how the hacking program he has allows him to create a virus capable of taking control of another computer.
Oh.
If you've ever wondered what a hacker sees when they hack your computer, today's your lucky day. So on my desk right here, I have a regular PC, and then on my lap,
He's making a rat.
running Metasploit. Metasploit is a tool that a lot of hackers and pen testers use to gain control of other computers, and you can use it to generate custom rats.
See?
Or viruses that give you remote access. So I generated this on the other computer, and I'm about to run it on here. Now nothing happens on this computer when I run the file, but on this computer you can see that a new connection's been started. So there is like a ton that I can now do on this computer that affects that one. For instance, I can type PS and see every process that's running on that computer, so all the apps and programs that are open. I can also take a screenshot and it's saved to this computer. There it is right there. I can take a picture on any of the webcams. I just took one with that webcam right here, and it's seeing the back of my computer. You can also open or close any windows, record from the mic, get all their stored passwords. You can also start a keylogger so that when they type on the computer, you can then dump that and see everything they typed. And you can also just start a shell, which enables you to do anything that you could do from their computer. So when people tell you not to click on random files on the internet or from wherever, that's why.
But beware, he's not just an amateur. Although his appearance doesn't give it away, Shiloh holds degrees in computer engineering and a master's degree in computer science.
That's very cool.
Both from Stanford University. We're not dealing with a stubborn amateur here.
No.
This guy knows what he's doing. At the beginning of this year, I told my audience about some interesting news for all those who browse the deep web. It was rumored within the same dark web that the creator of Silk Road had managed to buy his freedom in exchange for $600 million.
Holy
Thanks
shit.
to studying the cryptocurrency movement of wallets that had been dormant since the website's creation. Indeed, a few days later, Ross Ulbricht, the founder of one of the most dangerous sites on the deep web, was pardoned from his 3 life sentences. Gaining complete freedom, he received a full and unconditional pardon, and Shiloh reported this news almost as a scoop, as he is a regular visitor to these sites. So it's no surprise that while browsing the deep web regularly, he came across something that caught his attention and that is now changing his life for the
Shoe
worse.
man,
In a
keeper
video
of
published
souls.
on May 27, Shiloh told his audience how a few days ago, while aiming to discover more sections of the deep web, he came across a new site, a site that didn't have many references.
What the hell is this?
His name was Shoeman. Here, Shiloh was showing the site while commenting on the site's lack of context. It was just a simple catalog with a shopping cart and a pile of old shoes of all styles. The strange thing here was that each shoe had a person's name instead of a model, brand, or serial number. Just a name, no description. And he also showed us an expensive price for such dirty old shoes. Some had clear bloodstains on them. Shiloh thought it was simply a prank, a scam, another one of those fake sites aimed at infecting curious people. So he armed his machine with malware proofing and decided to place a Bitcoin order, knowing full well that nothing bad could happen to him. He browsed for several minutes until he found the Wayland's 29s, the only ones that fit his
I like the
face,
caption.
even though they cost $129.
That's funny.
He'd already bought things on the dark web dozens of times and knew how to avoid scammers. He believed with 90% certainty that he had been scammed. He knew that almost everything sold on the deep web was either a scam or a virus. But a couple of weeks later, the boots arrived at the designated collection point.
So y'all know I ordered some shoes off the dark web, and while I was at work, I got the notification that they just got delivered. I'm headed to the P.O. box right now to go pick them up. Good to go. We got something. Sure what boots would be fragile, to be honest. Bro, there's no way I just dropped this down the stairs.
And to his surprise, in addition to the boots, inside the package came a VHS.
Oh. Oh, the boots. Ew.
This VHS was unexpected, and without a VCR, he had to wait for the tools to arrive so he could watch it. In the meantime, he had everything ready to test the boots.
guys. So here's where we're at currently with the boots.
Ew.
Just got the blacklight in the mail.
Oh, cool.
For the blacklight to work, we need something called luminol, and Amazon says it should be here in a couple hours. I think I'm gonna be at work by the time it gets here, but I'll show you what I learned last night. Last night I ordered some hydrogen peroxide, and when I dab some on the clean parts of the sole, nothing really happens, but when I dab it on the more
Oh yeah.
parts, it does foam up. So, according to ChatGPT, there are a lot of false positives that will also cause foaming with hydrogen peroxide. So I'm waiting on the luminol to try to figure out what this is. In regards to the tape, I am going to get a VHS player. But yeah, so until that stuff comes, we just know they're dirty boots. And I'm really thinking about wearing them to work today.
Oh. Oh. Wow. That's, oh my god.
That's blood.
He sprayed the boots with luminol. If they reacted to the ultraviolet light, then it was indeed blood. Things were starting to get dark.
They're just straight up playing Silent Hill music in the background, by the way.
With the VHS system connected, he worked up the courage to watch the contents of it. A video more than an hour long, so it will only show you the most important things.
What the hell? All right. Oh, Jesus. Got sent some asshole's experimental short film.
The video featured a bunch of old footage played in reverse. And so in total, there are approximately 5 videos of people in clearly compromising situations wearing those boots. I'll let him explain it to you.
Okay guys, so I posted the full VHS on my YouTube today. If you are easily freaked out, don't watch it. There's a lot of weird stuff in there. Basically, it's just a bunch of messages and old movie clips pasted together, and then there are a bunch of slots called submissions, where it just says like a name and submission. Some of those submission spots have videos inside of them where the boots are shown, and if those are real, they're pretty messed up. I now know why they asked for my name, because there's a slot with my name created in there, but there's no video in mine. Right here really bothered me. I'll show you why.
Why?
I posted that to my subs only, and someone said to rewind it, so I did that, and it says this.
The devil knows that. I heard her moving things all around that room all night. Never heard such goings on. She wouldn't let me in her room this morning. She's a strange one.
So yeah, it's just
okay.
Weird. I need to figure out if the clips of the shoe stuff is like real or fake, because if it's real, it's bad. People have realized some creepy stuff, like the names of the submissions that got rejected are also the names that are on the site. Once more people watch it and kind of come up with more information, I'll post a full analysis. Until then, bro, I probably watched this whole thing like 9 or 10 times. It's getting to the point now where when I hear people not talking to rewind, it sounds weird. So I honestly need to take a break for a little bit. Also, I think it's unrelated. I got a skin infection on my leg, which I honestly don't think is from the boots, but I'm now on antibiotics, so great.
That thing you see behind him is simply a robot he created himself.
Oh, that's
a
cool.
robot he sometimes talks to. since it has some kind of ChatGPT installed with access to the deep web. But that's irrelevant to this case. After this video, Shiloh became somewhat paranoid, thinking this might not be a hoax, but real. So he decided to examine the boots and found that one of the soles was hollow and had a GPS inside.
Oh, shit.
It's called an A9G. There's a GPS, and that is a cellular antenna. It also, importantly, has a SIM card. I searched the other boot and the inside of the VHS. Also searched all through the box and the bubble wrap. And the lights that were blinking on the chip when I opened it up mean that it was connected to cellular and had a GPS signal. But it stopped blinking like 5 minutes after I made the video, and I haven't seen it blink since. So I'm not sure if it can be like remotely shut off, or it just died, or if it has like a power saving mode. I don't know, I'm really not sure how that's working, but it was definitely flashing when I found it. I'm gonna check out the SIM card or order a burner phone to like put the SIM card into to try to see what network it is. I also might be able to actually connect to the chip and see what code it was running. I'm cautious to like cut the power to the thing or put it in a Faraday cage because I don't want whoever is monitoring it, if there is someone monitoring it, to like see that the signal's lost. But yeah, I've been really busy with wrestling the past couple days, and I'm gonna be for like 2 more days, so I'm hoping tomorrow at the very least I'll be able to make a video analyzing the whole VHS tape situation. So see you soon.
A little scared, Shiloh began analyzing the tape to see if there were any clues that all this had consequences for him, and noticed some patterns. This video appears to be a random recording of a bunch of TV shows with some messages and other people's recordings recorded over it. Before each of these interruptions, a short title appears, like Michael's Submission, which means something like Michael's Acceptance. Then the interruption continues, and after the video, it says either accepted or rejected.
Hey, Night of the Living Dead.
The troubling thing is that near the end of the recording, there is a title for Shiloh to send his delivery. Instead of a take, there's the normal tape with the film running in reverse. So it's assumed that's where Shiloh has to record over it. But with what? From here we can
Don't upset the shoe man.
like this. If you don't add a video to the recording, or if your video is deemed invalid, you'll be added as a potential victim. The question now, which isn't explained anywhere, is how much time do you have to return the video, or where you should return it? What happens if you don't comply? What happens if your segment is rejected? Shiloh, thinking that all this was nothing more than games, allowed the days go by. But out of sheer curiosity, he re-entered the site, which now no longer exists.
Oh no.
Because of this, he decided to reverse engineer the tracker they placed on him and realized it was trying to send his location to a phone number. When he tried to call, a threatening voice appeared, telling him it knew what he had done and would look for him. He jokingly responded, still thinking it was all a bad prank, and told the man he would go and find him himself, using a mocking voice.
Here it is.
But days later, he receives a text message
What?
from that number.
That's okay.
It's as if the previous owner wanted to take down that website by tracking its location. But it didn't work, because the boots never arrived at a specific location, but apparently at another collection locker. Suddenly, Shiloh stopped uploading videos to his account.
Oh boy.
And people started to get scared. They flooded him with messages, thinking that the worst had happened. So he uploaded this video.
What's up, guys? So I've been getting a lot of requests for updates on the dark web shoe situation. I'm really sorry, but right now I don't think I can post anything about it. I don't think I can even really explain why I can't post anything about it. I'm still waiting to hear back about that. I promise you, it's a good reason, and if you knew why, you would understand. But for now, you just gotta trust me. I'll post something as soon as I can.
Something probably happened. You received a message, or you learned something else that led to a police investigation.
I
The
think
last thing he
something
showed his
else.
audience was that his name appeared listed on the shoemaker's dark web.
Keeper of Souls. Oh. Shiloh coming soon.
His name, age, and price appear in unusually high price. What's going on? Some believe that price is the reward for his hitman. It's been several days since the last post regarding the situation. He says it's become delicate and he has people working on it. What do you think about this case? Could this be some kind of disturbing
Is that the end of the video?
Actually happened at the
God damn it.
Cafe? Is it real, or is it simply a social experiment? You know what's the scariest thing? The TikTok people managed to find a certain Waylon Eugene Burnett. In one of his videos, he showed off his book collection. He keeps uploading his videos. But remember, the owner isn't the one who dies. It's the one who commits the crime. Perhaps the same guy who tried to text him. This is one of those stories worth knowing and following, because if it's real, Shiloh could be in serious trouble. Tell me what you think, since this video has already ended. My name is Leonore Clay.
That was pretty good.
This was The Darkest
Better than their usual slop.
Secret.
Brakeman? No. Alright, you can get a like for that. That was decent. You know what I think? I think Shiloh is a very tech-savvy guy who knows how to make videos. That's all I'm going to say. And he works for WWE. Yeah. I was like, uh-huh. Alright. Alright, well that's gonna do it for this cool Funtime Hangout. Guess what? There's gonna be another one of these really soon because I have lots more stuff I want to watch. Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That's what that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, he could have made that video. He knows all about like the GPS thing and stuff, and he obviously knows how to do stuff with computers, and he's very tech savvy. He probably built that website. I'm just like, yeah, okay. I could do that too. Yeah, thank you for hanging out, Cody. Thanks to Kev for stopping by. Yeah. This was really fun, and like I said, there are a few things I thought I put on this playlist I didn't. I have the new what is it, the Friday the 13th short film that came out. Haven't watched that yet. There are a few more trailers I want to check out, and yeah, hold on, what the hell is that? The Horrors of Overnight TV. That's like an hour long. Interesting. But there's more stuff coming up probably next week. I'm probably going to do another one of these because holy shit. Well, I missed a lot of stuff. Anyway, Wednesday, something's happening. Probably another Retro Games Rewind. Excuse me, in all honesty, because I really want to do another one of those. I want to do another one of those where it's all bad games. I think that'll be fun. Not like a lot of them aren't just terrible, but purposely bad games. But until then, I will see you later.
Thank you all for watching. I will see you later.